Today on the Cooligans, in the first segment, we're talking about Tata having cold feet. Come on, man. Why don't do this to us? Atlanta's really upset. And also Mexico might be upset as well. Also, early retirements. Also, people getting fired out in Spain. And are they going to come to America? Everybody's curious. And we sorted it out. Are the Rebels the best team ever in MLS history? We talk all about it.
Oh, in the second segment, we talk to our new dad, Oscar Pareja. You probably know him as the coach. You probably know him as Papi of FC at Dallas. Well, we got a chance to talk to him. We were in Dallas. You're going to listen to that interview. It was absolutely inspiring and really, really awesome. That and more in that second episode.
In the third segment, we talk about Decision Day, all the a little playoff preview. We try to figure out what the hell happened with Atlanta. Try to figure out how mad Atlanta fans should be at New York Rebels. All the beef. People dropping seeds. Don't be dropping seeds.
No.
Okay? Weird things are going to grow.
Wipe that off.
All this and more today on the Cooligans!
Hey, this is Alexi Lawless. There is nobody in U.S. soccer that is more important than the Cooligans.
Yeah, baby!
Yes! Hello! Yes, let's raise the energy. Let's bring some positivity into the world because there is very little of it.
We need it. And that's why we're here, baby.
That's why the Cooligans are here. You listen to this soccer show to cheer yourself up because the world is falling apart, Alexis.
That is.
Alexis, have you heard?
You know what? I don't watch the news, but still I look out the window and I can see the world lit on fire. Just bad stuff after bad stuff after bad stuff after bad stuff.
Yes, and we'll get to the bad stuff.
Well, there's stuff.
There's stuff,
But
and
also it was Decision Day, so
there's good stuff too.
there's good stuff to talk about.
So, but first, like as usual, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the Cooligans. My name is Christian Polanco.
My name is Alexis Guerrero.
And yes, we are your favorite stand-up comedians that host a soccer podcast.
It's not just the funniest.
In New York City.
That's right, above Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden at the Hackensack Meridian Hell, stage 17.
Bang, bang.
Crushing it. Okay, if you
They probably don't want us to say bang, bang.
Don't
after
say bang, bang. Well, they're gonna have to. You can go to Hackensack Meridian Health.
More like stitch. You know, go to Hackensack.
They'll fix your problems. So yes, we happen to be the funniest soccer podcast in the world.
Yeah, I mean, well earned.
Well earned. I mean, we're not that. Nobody's bragging.
Nobody's bragging.
No arrogance here. Zero ego.
This is just a trophy we definitely hold. But we also have another one in the trophy case.
That's right.
Some people are winning trophies over the weekend. We won. We have one from day one. It's the gulliest soccer podcast.
That's right. Every time when we raise that trophy every week, and we have to clean up the confetti in the studio every single time. They just
we got to plug in a gullometer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Our producer.
We strap ourselves to it like Scientologists. It tells us, "Yep, you stood a gulliest."
Okay, we need you to join, okay? And there's levels.
Yeah. Also, give us your money.
Imagine Gully Squad is really just a way to get people into Scientology.
I bet if it's its own religion. Yeah, we ain't trying to pay taxes no more. We started a religion. Christian doesn't know that yet.
So, welcome to the show, everybody. I want to start very quickly because we always forget stuff. And we are doing a big comedy show.
Yes, we are.
It's a secret comedy show.
Ooh. We can't tell you where it is.
We can't even tell you where it is.
That's for real. Like, we're not joking around.
So we're
gonna host it.
We're gonna host it.
It's gonna be like it's in a soccer inspired space.
That's right.
Ooh, I might have said too much.
You might have said a little too much.
Uh-oh.
It's in a space in Brooklyn that I would say.
All right, you're giving out boroughs.
No, we're allowed to give the borough and the neighborhood. That's what I know.
Oh, well, all right. Then I shouldn't have said what I said then.
So you maybe.
Well, no, they maybe.
It doesn't matter. What does that mean? With soccer-inspired space.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Any place is a soccer-inspired.
It could be a place with just beer. That's soccer-inspired.
This is a soccer-inspired space. You know.
Hackensack Meridian Health Stage 17 is now a soccer-inspired
I'm sure
space.
somebody has gone into Hackensack Meridian Health the center, and had a soccer injury. So therefore, it is a soccer-inspired space.
Sure.
Okay, so it all works out. Saturday, so this Saturday in Brooklyn, that is November 3rd at 7 p.m., there's going to be a show that we're going to host. It's a comedy show, and it's part of Don't Tell Comedy. If you live in New York, you may
or LA. They do a ton of shows in LA too. Yeah.
So It's one of those things. It's like an insider group. So you go to don'ttellcomedy.com. You can get on like their mailing list.
Yeah.
And this is what you have to do. You have to get on their mailing list. I think you can get tickets now. I'm not even sure. You can get
tickets are available.
Tickets are available,
but you got to get to the mailing list before you can find the link for the tickets.
Okay. So when you do that, you will find out that day of where the venue for the show is.
Yeah.
So I promise you, if you are in Brooklyn or you're in the city and you want to come out to a fun comedy show and you want to be in a unique space that you've probably never seen comedy at,
it's a very unique space amongst the skies.
So you might want to come check this out. So it's part of Don't Tell Comedy. The Cooligans will be hosting. Get tickets at don'ttellcomedy.com.
And if you live anywhere near South Brooklyn, oh yeah. You need to be there. It's going to be a dope show. The lineup is wild.
Exactly. So
first of all, we're there. We're going to co-host it together, which is kind of fun.
That's right.
This is basically going to be a podcast, but with alcohol. So Christian's going to have a lot of work.
Okay, exactly. I'm gonna have to lift you up and support you physically and metaphorically.
Tim, our producer, said the comedy show is in Christian's bedroom. Fun fact. Still has a bunk bed with soccer-themed bed sheets. While that is true, that's not where the show is.
That is very accurate. Yeah. I mean, it was very difficult to convince my mom to get rid of the race car bed.
That's the base of the bunk bed. You built the other bed on top of it.
Okay, all the things I like need to be in my bedroom, Mom.
Right now. Hurry up.
Okay. So we're excited about that. So go to don'ttellcomedy.com and November 3rd, South Brooklyn. You're going to have the best time of your life.
It's awesome. Also, shouts to all the Gully Squad members.
Yes.
We keep getting more and more. You guys are amazing.
You guys are very much becoming a part of our religion. And
Welcome. Read the texts.
Okay, look. All right.
It's not like books. No, we're sending you texts. That's it. That's how we run this religion.
Good news on, finally I did this because a lot of people were giving suggestions. I did create the Facebook group. It's a secret Facebook group.
Oh, more secrets.
Look, this is getting very secretive, right?
I also run a show called Illuminati Party. This whole thing. We ain't telling nobody nothing.
10 years from now, there's going to be some weird-ass documentary about Gully Squad and all the things they made you do.
Yeah, they're like, we had no idea this was a tax haven the whole time. We thought.
Okay, Leah Remini is going to be a part of it. It's going to be really interesting. So,
oh my God, did you hear? That's my Leah Remini.
You won't even believe what they made me do.
Oh my God.
My mother was ridiculous.
She loved it. She pulled me into it.
It's weird. I feel bad for her because she was like such a great. She was on the King of Queens, right? And she was just like
She's been on a bunch of stuff before that too. She was like forever around.
But she was like the America's mom.
Yeah.
And then her. So I think.
Or America's angry Italian wife. I think.
But she clearly had work done, right? On her.
Oh my God, yeah.
A little bit on her face. A couple.
Which no judgment.
No
you do
judgment.
whatever you want.
But I feel like that affected her voice. Am I the only one who thinks that? Where like
she can't move her upper lip.
Well, yeah, it's just
yeah. Well, she sounds so much more Long Island now.
Yeah, she maybe she was doing it for like the cameras, and maybe she was acting like less of an Italian Long Island mom. But it's very severe now. It's very pronounced.
There was a very a short period where I would see the repeats of it, but where her and Alyssa Milano were on the same shows, and I was like, this is just too much. This is. I feel like
bring a friend, Drescher, your head will explode.
I feel like the daughters of the deli owner are in the room with me. It was just too much.
So,
really formed some things. For
another thing I did want to mention
to join Gully Squad.
Join Gully Squad. Go to soccercooligans.com. Join Gully Squad. There's a lot of people have sent us questions. There's again more opportunities to play us in FIFA.
Yeah, that's right.
And we can officially announce we're already gonna start doing some second episodes. Right after these playoffs.
That's right, baby.
So we're gonna start giving you some stuff. We have we're gonna be
some of the interviews we did down in Dallas.
Down in Dallas. Some of we're recapping these playoff games.
Yep.
And we're gonna have a good time with it. So that's something to be excited about. And if you want to be a part of this movement and help us curate some of the content that and some of the things that we're going to be talking about, this is your time. Join
and just support the Cooligans, man. We can't do this without you. So
that's all we want.
Yeah,
and
go to soccercooligans.com, click on Gully Squad, join that Gully Squad. We got different levels for everyone. If you got a lot of money, you know what I'm saying.
You got all the money. All right, we've done surveys on who listens to this podcast, and it's only millionaires and billionaires.
Bruh. And there's like 3 trillionaires. So we're trying to figure out who you is. Daddy? Daddies?
Or mommy, you know?
or whatever you
Whatever you
want
want to be, all right?
Dio, Tia, whatever you want us to call you.
So,
Also, we should add a level that's just $1,000 a month. Just see who's gully enough to do that. We should.
okay, why not?
I don't know, man. We'll fly to your house once a quarter.
So, again,
and play video games with you.
The Facebook group is I'm gonna be sending out emails to people, or I might just, if I know the name, if I find you on Facebook, I'll just send you an invite to the group, and you'll be part of that, and you guys can communicate. It'll be like a message board. You guys can communicate with each other. You can be like, I hate Alexis, I hate Christian,
right.
You know, Team Christian, Team Alexis. You got to pick
know it's
sides.
mostly Team Alexis, but whatever. I mean, you don't have to.
So let's
just say, don't not pick Team Alexis. Is what I'm saying. Just you're either Team Alexis or you're no team at all.
So it can have a lot of fun. All right, so expect those messages from myself.
I want to point out a very funny review that was left. 5 stars, by the way. Thank you so much. Keep leaving those 5 stars review. We climb them ranks, bruh. Mm-hmm. We're almost at 300.
All right,
is dope.
We're at 283. So
we're at 283.
Your review could take us to the top.
This is by Che Boludos. Okay, which if you don't know what that means, you don't listen to this show. The title or the subject is Dominican flag emoji plus Cuban flag emoji plus Statue of Liberty emoji plus gun emoji. Gunny plus pizza emoji. Plus banana emoji.
Oh, okay. Somebody listens.
Plus soccer emoji, which is last, which makes sense. So they put the soccer at the end, equals laughing, crying face. And the actual subject of it, whatever the body of it is just enough said.
There we go. All right. I mean, that describes the show incredibly accurately.
I've never seen anything explain this podcast better. And if you are someone who's just like, I wonder if I should listen to this podcast, you're going to listen to that. You're going to look at that and you're going to go, yeah, I think I got to give it a try.
There was another one that I did like that was very recent, and it's from the Cooligan Tejano. Right?
Oh, yes, I saw this.
The
Cooligan Tejano.
El único.
Yeah,
all right?
the only Mexican listening.
And he goes, glad I found this podcast, 5 stars. He goes, the only podcast I can't listen to when trying to go to sleep. And then in parentheses, he goes, there's TSS for that.
Bang, bang.
Just kidding.
Bang, 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 bang. He put ha, 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 just kidding. So he could have put just kidding, ha, ha, ha.
So he goes, the only podcast I can't listen to when trying to go to sleep at night due to uncontrollable laughter it causes. FYI, my wife hates you guys. We love you, honey.
That's our demographic.
All the wives hate us. If you're married, we're gonna destroy your marriage.
Yeah, we're homewrecker. Let's listen to the podcast.
Sleep schedule, get out of here.
Get out of town. Also, why are you listening to podcasts trying to go to sleep?
Some people do that.
Yeah.
That's fine. I know that some people, they have like a podcast that are specific to like meditating or helping sleep.
Yeah, I've seen those. We're very specifically not
sure.
that.
I mean, listen to like NPR, you know?
Yeah.
Those soothing voices.
Or why don't you listen to like a podcast if you love soccer that much that's not going to make you laugh even a little bit? And that Men in Blazers. You know what I'm talking about? Like somebody recently asked us, like, what's our beef with them?
So yes. So I don't know. What is it? Beef? I don't know. It's
not.
It's tofu at this point.
Yeah. For us, it's not beef. We just, if it is, we're Angus, we're organic, we're grass fed, you know, and
anyway.
they're Tad's steaks.
I did want to mention another thing before we get...
Hold on. Shouts to anyone who listens who eats at Tad's steaks. Let us know if you've ever eaten at a Tad's steak.
I've eaten at a Tad's steaks.
Oh my God, why?
I mean, like in high school.
Oh God, even then.
It was fine food.
Should have known better.
So
it was fine.
I shout out. We're gonna be playing this a little bit later. There's a rapper he's a soccer player. He grew up playing soccer, and his name is FIFA.
His name is Christian Pulisic. Kid's got bars.
Very much got bars.
No, his name is FIFA.
His name is FIFA with 2 E's, not FIFA, because that might be, you know.
He ain't trying to get sued.
He ain't trying to get sued, okay? Infantino will be at your doorstep.
Yeah. Also, every time somebody Googles you, it's going to be the video game, and then you're screwed.
It's tough. So, but we're going to be playing a track from his album. I don't know if it's an album. I think he has a group of singles, I think. I'm not sure. But I was listening to a couple tracks, and the guy got bars. He knows what he's doing. He's a Latin trap artist. He's El Salvadorian from Central LA. And
what other podcast talks about soccer but is going to play Salvi trap music?
Yo, we're trying to give everybody love, man.
There's just none. There's nowhere else you can go for this. You also may not want to go anywhere for this, but we're here.
Yeah, so you're gonna hear it a little bit later. You'll probably hear in a break, and you'll hear that. We'll play a track at the end of the show. So check him out. He's on Spotify. FEEFA FIFA. Dope music. I'm into it. He makes Latin trap, but it's in English and Spanish, and it's very much
Spanglish.
And it's very much for those kids that grew up like us. You know, speaking both languages. I spoke Spanish at home. You know, I was just on the streets outside speaking my English. You know how I do. You know, so
Sin barreras.
so we figured we show a little bit of love. So stay tuned for that. All right. So let's now that we got some positivity down as the foundation, let's we did look, speaking just for myself, this weekend it was just been absolute
Bonkers.
Nightmare, just insane. I mean, Pittsburgh, Leicester City.
We're not a political podcast, but there's
we're
just so much.
It's just so much that it becomes so overbearing, you know. And on a personal note, you know, like my girlfriend is Jewish. You know, her family, like it does affect. It does.
Yeah, we got friends.
Yeah, man.
Listeners of the podcast that are big fans of ours and friends of ours that work in soccer. People we've grown up with. People we go to school. I mean, I can't believe we would have to say it, but yeah, no, let's not kill people for any reason, really, but especially their religion or anything like that. And if in any way, shape, or form you're doing something that I think adds to that, you look inside yourself right now and decide if that's the kind of person you want to be. If you're putting shit online, even if you think it's a joke, even if you think, well, I'm just trolling, it is what it is. If you're saying something that you think might help create the space in someone's head where they think what happened in Pittsburgh is okay, you're part of that problem. You absolutely are. Look, we've all done it. We're all comedians, right? We make jokes all the time. I've been in roasts, right, where you make fun of jokes, you make jokes about people. Those are on purpose for the roast and for other things. If you're just spouting that stuff online, dog, I mean, then you're not a part of our crew. Yeah. That's it.
You cannot join the Gully Squad.
You're the least gully person ever.
Sure. So it's difficult to not have a heavy heart and not and as I had a show that night, you know, and it's difficult to as a comic. It's I mean, at least for me, there's a little bit of responsibility, right? Because it's like. There's people in the audience that are there to be like, hey, I want to get my mind off of some of this tragedy, and I would like to pay the clown to do that, you know? I mean,
us.
And that's sort of what we do, and we kind of have to move past it and push forward but it's difficult for it to not let it affect you.
Yeah.
So,
and on behalf again of the Cooligans, condolences to anyone who may have been affected by it, whether directly or indirectly.
Just insane. And then if things were not awful enough,
I mean, it's just bad news on top of bad news.
And then the stuff at Leicester, it was just.
It's so shocking to me because the part that shocked me the most was like no one was saying whether the owner was on the plane or not.
Yeah, that was.
And I'm like, well, he would have said something if he wasn't. He would have come out and been like, oh my God, I'm fine, but these people passed away. We also don't know who else was on the plane yet, or at least I didn't see the news.
Yeah, they've revealed who else was on the plane.
I know
I mean, it was two, the pilot, and I think a co-pilot, and then two, the owner of the team. Okay.
Sorry about that.
The owner of the team and two assistants of his, two people who worked for him. That had apparently been with him for years, and
I think Kasper Schmeichel's post. Did you read it?
I didn't read it, but I knew that he was like one of the first people that he went out into like the wreckage and stuff like that. He was like trying to.
Well, apparently he was like, he would show up early just to talk to. Is it Vihai?
I don't know.
I feel bad that we're mispronouncing the owner's name, but VS, let's call him for the purpose of that. VS. He would sit down and talk to VS, and he looked at him as like a father figure, and just someone. I mean, I've had people throughout my life that have helped me in those situations where I didn't have someone specifically to go talk to, and have sort of been that by proxy. So I understand how difficult that must be, and I understand how insanely personal some relationships can get, and for that to affect you, but. To see those outpourings, and you never really know how much an owner is involved in the team, and they'll say like, "Oh, and they love the community, and they're always around." But a lot of that sometimes is just sort of bigging up the owner because they're the ones that pay the bills.
Yeah.
But VS in all of this seems like he was so integral in so many things for Leicester City and Leicester as a city itself.
Yeah.
That it's just shocking when this happens. I know his kid, supposedly, I don't know if this is true, but I think now that you said that his kid wasn't on there, his kid normally takes that trip with him, but decided not to go last minute. If that's true, and that's who's next up to run this company, I don't know what, but hopefully he can carry that. And, a lot like when we spoke to Dan Hunt, sorry. He talked about his dad's legacy, like the way his father did business gave them sort of a blueprint of how to move forward. You know what I mean? And I get that not all the fans love every step that they've made, but what I'm saying is simply like there's now a legacy to carry forward. These other folks that are not going to run King Power and going to run Leicester City don't have the opportunity to let that go by the wayside, to not take care of the community around them, to not be an integral part of the community around them, because that's what VS would have wanted.
Yeah.
They're actually talking about changing the name of the stadium.
Yeah, I think there should be, at least for me, I realized, you learn a lot about in tragedies, right? Like it's a shame. It's almost like when, Mac Miller died, right? And then all this great, I didn't really pay attention to Mac Miller, but then I started listening to some of his music. I'm like, oh, this dude was like really good. And
he was very talented.
It's like, it's a shame that we learn the good things that people do after they pass.
Yeah.
And we don't fully appreciate them until they're gone. And it's like a cliche thing or whatever, but just another devastating thing in soccer. I mean, it made no sense. I did hear that if it wasn't for some of like the heroism of the pilot, more people could have died because the plane could have crashed in.
It crashed in like the parking lot area, but it was headed towards. Not a group of people, but they said that it was headed towards like a residential area.
Yeah. It's
insanity.
It's just insane, and it's difficult to move forward and go on with life when it's so many things happen in one weekend. It's just the world seems scarier and scarier. But again, we're here to try to like.
Look, my whole life, and I know for the part that you've been watching soccer, I've always used soccer as an escape. A lot like comedy. It's always been an escape from what's happening in the real life. Sometimes reality sneaks into, the things that we try to avoid. The things that we use to try to avoid those things. And it's happening now. But honestly, and I know it sounds cliche again, but hopefully we're a respite for all that disgusting, terrible shit that's happening just outside your ears right now. Look, we're here to try to help you and alleviate it. And sometimes it's difficult for us to try to be funny in light of some of the bad things that are happening. But again, if you're a Leicester City fan, we ride with you right now, and we hope that things work out for the best for the community. This guy can't come back. Everyone else on that plane can't come back, but we can do things in that person's memory. And one of the things we can do is help alleviate some of that pain by being funny and talking about soccer. So, if you allow us to do that, thank you so much. Thank you for listening. I know it's been a few minutes, and we haven't mentioned people kicking a ball just yet, but hopefully you're still listening.
All right. So now let's do it. Let's get to the show.
Okay. Let's talk about soccer.
I think the top story has to be. Well, what do you want to start? Do you want to start with Supporter Shield stuff, or
no? Let's start with real quick because it just came out 25 minutes ago.
Okay.
By the recording, Brendan Vincent of the Chicago Fire is retiring from soccer.
He is a kid still. He is
25 years old.
Yeah, I mean, what's the
if you and I were single,
what's the pension like at 25?
Yeah, I don't know. If he gets 25% of his contract, he's not making a lot. But I don't know. My first instinct is to suggest that it's a money based move, that he's maybe not making as much money as he could in some other.
That's
assets.
possible.
Or maybe there's an injury involved. There's no real information. He did mention in his thing that if this may surprise you, yeah, bruh. We're soccer fans. We wish we were good enough to play. Also, as NYCFC fans, we dodged a bullet, huh?
Why?
We traded him for Jack Harrison.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Nah, not bad.
Well, yeah, Jack Harrison's in the Prem.
But we made money off that.
Championship, that's right. It's always, these kind of moves are always kind of surprising. This happens a lot in the NFL, right? The guys play 3-4 years and then leave because of the inherent danger that comes with playing the sport. But with soccer players and with American soccer players, I guess we're not used to seeing it and we're not used to hearing about it. I'm sure in the time of like the first 5 years of MLS when the guys were making $18,000 a year,
Right.
I'm sure a lot of guys were like, bro, you serious? No, I'm not gonna do it. I'll do this for 6 months and then
Yeah, look, you got me this year, and then after that, I got to go back to my dad's factory, you know?
Okay, I might lose a hand at that factory, but I'm gonna be making more money than playing soccer.
I'm only using one hand to count the money I'm making now, so.
And even if I lose a hand, I could come back to playing soccer because you don't need your hands to play soccer.
In fact, I can't get in trouble for hitting it with my stump, right? I don't know the rules.
Ain't a handball.
Yeah.
All right, there's no stump ball.
Imagine someone said handball, I'd be you mad disrespectful. How dare you bring that up to me?
How dare you mock me while I'm working?
By the way, one of the funniest, this is going to be disrespectful to a lot of people. I don't mean it. We were at a radio station this weekend in St. Louis.
Oh, yeah. How was St. Louis? You did
St.
the
Louis
shows
was
with
awesome.
Wendy
Well,
Cummings.
The shows were great. Indy Cowie came out.
That's right.
How about that?
Yeah, that's cool.
She messages me. I'm in the green room after I get off stage. Hey, your show was really funny. Most people don't, like, what you just did on stage was, like, your show. Like, I get, you know, why you would think. I'm like, oh, which episode did you listen to? I thought she was talking about Cooligans. And she's like,
She was like, I don't listen to that trash.
Yeah, no, she's like, oh, God, no, I don't listen to you guys. You guys are a problem. So you're ruining marriages. I can't listen. She messaged, no, I'm at Helium. And I'm like, in St. Louis. She lives in St. Louis. For some reason, I think she told us she's from North Carolina originally.
I thought that's where she
I
lived.
assume that's where she still was.
Yeah.
Just moved to St. Louis. She's absolutely awesome. By the way, her and Whitney kind of know each other. Whitney Cummings, who I was opening for, they kind of know each other through Instagram.
Okay.
So I said to Whitney, I was like, oh, a friend of mine is here. She's really famous on Instagram for soccer stuff. Her name is, and Whitney goes, Indy Cowie? And I'm like, how do you know her?
Dude,
So Indy comes to the green room, and like the three of us are like, what a weird connection all three of us have.
Just all chopping it up. Look.
Also, by the way, Indy was there to see Whitney. Bruh, I'm your friend. I'm your friend.
You actually met Alexis in person.
Bruh, she got her book and everything. Hey, yo, at least pull up with a gulliest shirt. You know what I mean?
Okay, we'll win you over, Indy, one day.
Damn, Indy. So, yeah, it was, by the way, what they call pizza in St. Louis, burn it to the ground.
Burn the pizza or the
All of
pizzeria?
The pizzerias, all of them. Emos, are you people serious? I know about trash Provel cheese. They invented their own cheese, and it's an acquired taste, is all I'll tell you.
Didn't technically everybody invent their own cheese?
What are you talking about?
Who everybody invented cheese. Like, cheese is not just a man-made thing.
No, they invented their own style of cheese.
Okay.
But it's processed. It's like it's like a factory made
It's not
of
good cheese. Okay, got it.
It's trash cheese. And I could say that passionately because I've tried it so many times and it's never been good. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it on their pizza. So I go to an Emo's Pizza. This is St. Louis style pizza, which I'm sure you've all heard about.
This is like Gothic pizza?
So bad. It's a lot like Chicago in the sense that it's the thin one. It's that it's cut into squares. But I go to the place and I was like, hey, you can't buy the slice, right? Because they sell squares, little tiny squares.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, nah, but you can get like an 8-inch pie. He's like, but yo. He looks at me, he's like, you could do like a 10 or a 12. I was like, I gotta be honest, I'm starting to like this a little more. All right, Emos. So I was like,
why does he sound like a mechanic?
Yeah, well, I mean,
hey, okay, look, I'm looking up the body up and down.
I haven't checked under the hood yet, but just from the sound.
Look, I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
I know I kind of have a good sense of these things.
I mean, you ain't passing inspection is all I'm saying. So the guy, boy, he had like a real Southern. It's cool. St. Louis has this cool thing where like some people sound mad city, and some people sound kind of Southern, and then there's some people that sound both.
Okay.
Like they'll use like the finna, the ma'am, sir, and I'm like, I'm not either one of those things. Don't call me that. Anyway, long story short, I was like, I don't know, how big is the A? He's like, yo, let me show you. I think he's going to bring me the trays in which they come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, he brings out a pre-cooked discus.
Delicious.
It looks like it's a little thicker than it's just barely thicker. It's like a tortilla and a half thick. And he brings that out, and it's got all these docking like marks in it, which is this rolling pin with like sticks so that it doesn't bubble up. He brings that out, and he's got two of them in his hands, and I'm like, are those displays? And he goes, nah. He's like, I'll put the sauce and cheese on whichever one you want. And I'm like, it's made already? And he goes, well, yeah. And I was like, let me go talk to my wife. She's in the car. My wife's not even in the city. I had no car. I just didn't want to offend this dude and get out of there. Could you trying to give me a pre-cooked discus? It looked like the body of Christ. but like big. Like a big
Yo,
ass.
can I get the body of Christ in like extra large, please?
Yeah, can I get the double XL body of Christ, my guy? It looked like body of Christ if I was the Christ. If I had the body of Christ.
If Jesus let himself go, it would be his body.
Which, by the way, he knew he was gonna die. What's up with the abs, bro? You don't need them abs. I'm not trying to do bits right now. So anyway, long story short, I walked out of there. The shows were great. Friends came out. Morgan Parr, who you've met before.
Oh, yeah, Morgan,
Him
yeah.
and Vaughn came out. Big.
I thought he was still
Arsenal
in
fans.
Vietnam.
He said they stayed a little longer than they thought. So
Okay.
they're in St. Louis kind of recouping a little bit. And then they're
Nice.
off to some other city. Shouts to those two. Who knows
Arsenal,
what they even
Arsenal
do.
fans. I met Morgan through
Big Arsenal. And what's it, Kirby.
and Kirby. Yeah,
Kirby
that's
we
right.
met through Morgan. So, yeah, no. So he's, by the way, still listening, and he's a big fan, and he's, he was giving us a lot of credit for all the stuff we've done. Anyway, they specifically came to see me. Now Whitney, Indy, that's how that works. Indy Cowie.
Okay.
Indy's she's got a dope situation out there, so I'm happy for her.
All right. So I forgot how we got into that. You were gonna make another point, but I forgot what it was. Anyway,
What was I talking about? St. Louis?
St. Louis. You mentioned St. Louis.
Indy. I think I was talking about Indy.
Nah, it was something before that. But it
What'd
doesn't
you
matter.
say?
I don't remember because you talked a lot
This
about
is what we do
pizza.
on this
and got into, you got very upset at this man who was just trying to offer you his St. Louis pizza.
Oh no! Here's what happened. We're talking about losing a hand. We go to the we go to the radio station.
Yes.
And a guy stops Whitney and goes, "Hey, I'm a big fan. Can I take a picture?" He's got no hands. He's got just to the wrist.
Okay.
And Whitney's like, "Yeah, sure." She goes to pull out her phone. He goes, "No, I got it." And he sticks both of his, like, I guess, arms in his. I don't want to say stump. You know what I mean? He puts both stumps in his
what
pocket.
it is, yeah.
He pulls out the phone. He's got like it down packed. He knows what to do to get it going, and he's holding the phone. I was like, damn, I'm impressed. And Whitney like took a photo with him and was like, hey, do you want to come to one of the shows? And he was like, I'm a huge fan. I would love to. And she was like, well, why don't you just email like her assistant? And she was like, yeah, I'll give you the information. You let me know. And he goes, actually, I could just get tickets from the radio station. We have tickets we're giving away. So he's like, we have a couple extra for the staff if we want to go. She goes, oh, great. And he goes, yeah, I hope I can make it. I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. And Whitney goes, yeah, fingers crossed. And goes into the radio station. I tap Whitney on the shoulder. They go, hey, fingers crossed. And everyone in the radio room's like, oh, was that Brad? Like, yeah, he's totally cool with it. Like, he doesn't care.
Okay,
like, and we're all like, oh my God, Whitney. Whitney was like, I'm so sorry, I haven't slept. And it's just the thing I say. She was so apologetic.
All right.
I think I was totally cool with it. But yeah, oh, fingers crossed you can make it.
Shout out to Brad.
Yeah. What up, Brad?
Yo, Brad, you mad cool, man. That's dope.
Come out here.
All right, cool.
No handballs.
Brad got a sense of humor. So the other thing we mentioned Brandon Vincent.
Yeah, good luck in your future endeavors, Brandon.
Do your thing, man. Then we should talk.
Tata might not be saying Tata.
Tata might be saying, I'm staying. I made a huge mistake.
Yeah, whoa! He's like, sorry, I just spent a weekend in Sinaloa with Diego Maradona. I can't go back.
Okay, I went a little too hard that weekend.
Yeah. Also, give me something to stop this nosebleed. Well, he wants to stay in America. There's all rumors. All rumors.
All rumors. And look, if
By the way, none of this has been confirmed except for the fact that he's not coming back to Atlanta United.
if the Cooligans are anything, we spread very limited facts.
Yeah.
A lot of gossip. Okay?
Shouts to Michael Rappaport, but we also don't fact check, okay?
But we heard out in these streets, okay?
Word is
that Tata Martino is having second thoughts about signing a contract with the Mexican national team.
cold feet, baby.
Okay.
How many opportunities has American soccer gotten because someone just doesn't want to leave? I mean, it's got nothing to do with our system or anything. By the way, this is a call to Ernie. Stop fucking up. I don't care how many Berhalters are involved in the process. Dog, you got to stop fucking up. Call him. Throw the bag at him.
How many opportunities do you need?
Yo, if David Villa can learn English, I think he used Kaplan. Yo, let's get him Kaplan.
Yeah.
Like a gift certificate. We'll get him Duolingo. The Cooligans
will teach
Tata Martino
English.
It may not be proper.
Okay?
All right?
He's going to be straight up talking like this.
Yeah.
All right?
He's going to be like, yo, DeMarcus Beasley, how old are you, my guy?
Yo, you older than me?
Damn, son.
How come I can't get you off this team?
Yo, he's like, yo, you let Mexico play like that against you? Facts. Yo, you OD OG suck out there,
Yo,
my guy.
DeMarcus, I thought we was fam, dog.
Yeah, damn, DeMarcus.
So that's
You need to lock up that channel like I did the block. And we're like, yo, no, you took it too far, Tata.
Tata. All right, we taught you a little too much. Okay?
Stop dabbing, Tata. We ain't teach you that.
Okay, Tata, you need to stop improvising. All right, we taught you the foundation, what you needed for this.
You
for
spent too
soccer.
much time in Atlanta.
So that is the rumor that he's probably not 100% certain. I don't know. When I hear things like this, I'm like, oh, he's just trying to negotiate a little bit more
This
money.
is just for more money.
For
yeah.
more money. So, but according to.
But when I hear it, I say this is fact, and this is what's gonna happen.
Yo,
Also, I feel like we have an influence here.
Sure.
I don't know how. I doubt Ernie Stewart has ever heard of us. Certainly not listening. But yo, Ernie, if you listening, dog.
There's no way. Look, we've bumped into people that were fairly high up in either for a particular organization or in MLS. There's a couple. I would say there's less than 3 degrees of separation. Some maybe even 2 for somebody listening to this to relay it to Tata.
100%.
That's what
I think someone listening to this, at least 2 people that I can think of listening to this,
Yeah.
who could just open Tata's door right now and say, hey, got word from 2 very credible people.
So look,
2 very professional people. You don't have to explain.
Anonymous sources.
Also, please don't explain who the Cooligans are. Just say that we're responsible, credible people. That we will gladly teach him English if he stays, and he'll make the same bag he would in Mexico. Because I know
That's right.
if he shows up at Ernie's door and says, I want to coach the men's national team, Ernie can't be like, but you didn't say that in English perfectly. He can't.
Imagine he said that. Excuse me, no entiendo.
Yeah. Por favor, dígalo otra vez. I'd smack Ernie Stewart in the mouth. I'd have to for the culture.
Yeah. So yeah. Look, if this is actually a possibility that there's a chance that he's not certain about what his next option is, then how do you not go just hard on trying to get an interview? Just see his thoughts. See where his head is at. What? Because
Even if you don't like his body of work, just off the fact that he's being courted by your biggest rival, who's done better than you traditionally, should be more than enough of a validation.
Yeah.
That you should now go after him as well. And I think this is like the type of move that like the Bulls used to do back in the day. If they knew that a player was going to go to
the Red Bulls.
No, the Chicago Bulls. Well, I guess they're also aware, right?
Look, this is a soccer show. We need to sort out exactly who you're talking about.
That's a good point. Which, by the way, owned by the Hunt family, the Chicago Bulls.
Oh,
So
that's right.
still technically involved in soccer. And then I told them how much of a Knicks fan I was, and that almost killed our relationship. But if they used to go and sign like 3-point shooters and stuff that other teams wanted, like the Knicks or Indiana Pacers, teams that they thought they would come up against, so that to weaken the other team, that's exactly what we should be doing.
Okay.
It is. Do you think Mexico is stronger with Tata Martino?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then we should sign him.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to go for Berhalter. This is the truth. They're not going to sign Greg Berhalter. If Greg Berhalter is the guy you want, the Columbus Crew have been saved now. He doesn't have to change his life. And you could say to Greg Berhalter, hey, yo, we still think you're right at the top of our list. And we're going to go with Tata Martino right now just because this is a good opportunity to both weaken our opponent and to strengthen ours. And if this doesn't work out, before the 2026 World Cup, which is happening on our own turf, along with Mexico, we'll bring you in.
Yeah, well, Berhalter, he will have a good job, right? He's either going to stay with Columbus, he's going to get the U.S. men's national team job, or LA Galaxy job, right? He is as far as American soccer coaches, he is the number 1.
He's going to be all right.
Yeah, he's going to be fine.
So, yo, you just said to Greg Berhalter, dog, like, you number 1 right now, but there's this other dude we got to give a try. Yeah. It's very different for our country, and this would be a big opportunity for the youth. You could come in later if you're still interested in the job. And he may not. He may have a grudge, but dog, is the U.S. men's national team now. You can't be a little bitch about it.
Okay. All right, yeah, tell that to Ernie.
Yeah. Ernie, come on, dog. Let me talk to Greg. I got this.
Okay, I'll deliver the bad news.
Bring in the other Berhalter, too. You know what I mean? I'll say something to both of them.
Bring the whole Berhalter family. I'll let
Where
them all
the
know.
kids at? Come sit on Uncle Alexis's lap while I tell you, Dad, he ain't getting a job.
Speaking of other managers that don't have a job or are looking for one, Julian Lopetegui. Lopetegui, who we talked about.
Who did the reverse of what we want Berhalter to do.
So we talked about him. If you don't recall, he was the manager for the Spanish national team. He was about to go into the World Cup, but he was like, you know what? I know this is the biggest tournament in sports history,
and I'm gonna lead my home nation into it. But
you know what? Let me look for a fallback plan because I don't know how secure this is.
How can I right now just create a conflict of interest? How's that possible?
While he was the Spanish national team coach, he
takes over for Zidane over at Real Madrid.
Zidane had announced that he was leaving. There was a vacancy for the Real Madrid managing position, and while he was the Spanish national team coach, he made a verbal agreement to take that job once the World Cup was over. The Spanish FA was like, yo, are you crazy? This is the most, you need to be incredibly focused on this. What are you doing?
Yeah. Why'd you even leave for the interview?
Exactly.
Like, you should be focusing on this.
Uncalled for. Look, the Spanish FA kept it 100% real.
They did not.
The guy was like, we talked about it before, where he was like, oh, he sent me a message 5 minutes before it was released to the press. He was like, that's not how we do things. Get your ass out of here. You're fired, right?
Which, by the way, shouts to them for keeping it 100. Because
100.
So many people would have been like, we wish them, good luck in their future endeavors, but we can't have them trying to do both jobs at the same time. No, this guy's like, 5 minutes? Yo, that's at least a day.
That's how much you respect me? 5 minutes worth?
5 minutes? Dog, I didn't even read the text in time, and the news is going off. You know how hard it is to read your text? Well, everyone else is texting me. What, you supposed to have been texting me yesterday?
So that's how they handled it, and dude gets fired 14 games in from his tenure at Real Madrid.
And they are struggling.
They're currently in 10th place. They just, speaking of 5, they got a 5 spot put on them by Barcelona in the Clásico this weekend. Without Messi.
Without Messi.
Dude, speaking of no arms.
Making it messy.
Look at that. They didn't even need Messi out there.
And by the way, I know we very rarely talk about La Liga, but shouts to Espanyol in 5th place.
Sure. How about who's in second?
Alaves.
Alaves,
yeah. Alves, no.
Danny Alves
is he's like, what up, everybody? Bang, bang. But yeah, I mean, the typical Sevilla, Atletico Madrid, but Espanyol, they were like laughing stocks.
Sure.
When I was in Barcelona, you couldn't, and they play in Barcelona, you couldn't even find a scarf of theirs. You couldn't find a jersey of theirs.
Sure, yeah.
And I wanted it because it had Azerbaijan, a land of fire.
Well, you're getting Atletico. They have Azerbaijan on it.
At the time, no, actually, I'm sorry. It was Visit Cancun, I think, was the jersey, was the
For
sponsor.
Espanyol?
For Espanyol, yeah,
Okay.
at that time. It was just dope. It was fire.
You ever been to Cancun?
No.
It's fun.
Do I wear Uggs? Do I drink pumpkin spice lattes? No, I don't go to Cancun.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we sorted that out. We know how Alexis feels about
I've never been to Basic Bitch tourism tourist at whatever, travelagent.com.
Sure. I mean, I have it bookmarked. My favorite site. But
Right next to your Ariana Grande fan website.
I don't know what Pete did, but it's just frustrating right now.
I know what he did. I'll tell you.
I know what he did.
Oh,
we know what he did, right? It's been spoken about publicly.
Has it?
Yeah, I've seen it online and stuff. The rumor was that Pete Davidson, we know,
he
texted some images to Mac Miller,
which aided in his suicide. That's the.
You think so?
That's what the
right,
rumor. That's why I didn't want to say it on the show.
That's a bold statement. I don't know, man.
No, that's what they're saying led to his. Heavier use.
He was doing it, I think, out of hey, I'm with her. You can leave her alone. I think he was trying to be protective, but that's my mentality. Why would you
send nudes?
Oh, I don't know if it was nudes.
That's what it was.
Is that what it definitively was?
No,
I just heard they were I thought it was pictures of them hugging and be like, yo, we're together. Stop texting her.
Oh, well, I mean, there was hugging involved from what I hear. Yeah.
Okay.
There was caressing.
All right. Look, this show is a soccer show. This is a pizza show. And it's also the E Network.
Yeah, we're spilling tea everywhere.
Everybody. All right. There's tea all over this desk. I ruined my laptop.
For all of you in the South, it is not tea as you know it, by the way. This is hot tea.
It's
We
hot
ain't
tea.
spilling no sweet tea.
Exactly.
That stuff would bring nothing but bugs. It's all sugar.
But Lopetegui, do you think him being out of this job, is there any opportunity? People are like, Lopetegui to MLS or Atlanta United or,
Immediately was my first thought, by the way, which that is, all right, you and I have only been really massive fans of MLS since, 2015 when we started this podcast.
Sure, yeah.
Yo, this is all new territory for me, where some guy gets fired from Real Madrid, and our first thought is, well, clearly he wants the Atlanta job. That is
what a great just conversation.
what an odd space we're in. Where we're like, maybe he'll take over LA Galaxy. They're like the Galacticos back in the day. Remember Beckham came here. This would be like, we got a direct line from Real Madrid to MLS. It blows my mind that we're sort of in this space now. That this is where MLS is.
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
Wow.
I mean, look, there's clearly American influence. There was the game between Tottenham and Manchester City
On the
NFL field was just beautiful. Just the internet was just.
Max Brados took a picture and he put
Davidson Sanchez?
No, David Silva. What's his name?
David Silva,
Yeah, David Silva. Sorry. David Silva at the 40, at the 30, at the 20. He could go all the way, and then he put, sorry, I had to. And I'm like, that's classic.
If you didn't see the game, the NFL had a game. I think I forgot who played.
Jaguars versus somebody. It's always the Jaguars.
So at Wembley, Tottenham had a game the next day because they don't got their own damn stadium yet.
Yeah.
Them and NYCFC are on the same on the same boat.
Except we're playing with baseball diamond. They're playing with NFL lines.
So because of that, because NFL had the game, the lines weren't off of the field by the time and not only the pitch itself was a wreck. You know how those NFL players do. Ruined the center of the pitch, and probably the reason why Eric Lamela misses that goal because the ball takes an extra skip that it probably doesn't.
Off that dog track.
Off the dog track. So good for you, Wembley.
Yeah.
Good for you, England.
Really, honestly, Premier League, we're never going to respect you unless you stop playing with the NFL lines, bro.
Exactly, man. That's why nobody takes your league seriously, dog. So get in line with the rest of world soccer, all right? Because this is how the game is played without them damn NFL lines on the field.
And honestly, get yourself a soccer-specific stadium. All right, guys? Come on, Tottenham.
Just what a shame. I
Really?
mean, look, they're never gonna get anywhere. So all right. So let's talk about. We're gonna talk about Decision Day and a lot of the games and all that stuff in the last segment. We have to decide. We didn't do this off air. We want to put out one of the FC Dallas interviews. Who should we put out? We have Ryan Hollingshead, Tesh Arcandeli, Reggie Cannon, Oscar Pareja, and Dan Hunt. Who do you think we should put out?
You want to put Coach?
Pareja, yeah, I'm cool with
Yeah.
that. FC Dallas has a playoff game coming up. So, all right, so the second segment will be our interview with Oscar Pareja.
Which changed our lives.
Which changed our lives, and it will change yours.
Yeah.
I promise you that. So
You'll hear me cry for the first time.
so
my wife is listening.
she's like, oh, I've never seen him show emotion.
Yeah, wow, okay, that robot learned a new trick.
But your wife is gonna be like, look at that damn loser.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not even attracted to him anymore.
Baby. She texts me, your stuff's outside the apartment. It's just one bag. Damn, she does own everything. It's just soccer jersey.
So let's talk about two things. We have to talk about the Supporter Shield, and we have to acknowledge the mental breakdowns. We have to also acknowledge the winner, and
Which we don't want to do this on this show.
It's not about we. You know what? I always say, look,
We're a universal show.
yes,
so
Christian and Alexis are NYCFC fans.
The Cooligans
are
a fan of the whole league.
We support the league. We're trying to big up American soccer, right? So,
And you know what? If we are trying to pick up American soccer, then probably no other team besides this one has that credibility because they have so many players that they've developed themselves.
oh sure.
Which I just found out. I didn't even realize that they also developed Tim Weah. He was a part of their academy before he went over to PSG.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which I didn't know that either. So I
know he's from New York.
Yeah. So shouts to the Rebels, man.
Greatest team in MLS history.
We don't want to say, but they have the points.
They get 71 points.
71. Remember last year, everybody was giving Toronto credit for 69. Nice. by the
Nice.
way.
It was a very nice season.
Yeah, that was. I mean, honestly, Rebels, you kind of ruined it, right? But Rebels out here with 71.
Honestly, this feels a little bit like the home run race between Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire, right? Because you never thought these records would be broken.
No.
And you never thought they would be broken 2 years in a row.
It was like, what was it? There was like a guy who ran like a 10-minute mile, 8-minute mile. Everyone's like, it'll never happen. No one's even gotten close. The one guy does it, and now everyone does it after that. That's exactly what happened. Toronto, 69 before anybody could. And everyone's like, oh, this is cool now? This ain't taboo no more? So now we're going even crazy. We're going 71, which is just when a shorter person spoons with a taller person in a weird shape.
Okay, look, I didn't even, I'm picturing it, and yes, I'm aroused.
Backpacking.
So, the Red Bulls on decision day win against Orlando, which everyone wins against Orlando. That's usually how it works. But Atlanta United, who was sitting with 68 points, all they
had to win.
All they had to do was win.
They had to win against a team nowhere near the playoffs.
Out of the playoffs, and
like not as far out as you can get because San Jose and Orlando are still there, but so far gone.
Yeah, they were done, and they understood that. But weirdly enough, I think we've learned in these 2 years of Atlanta United's existence that their decision day games should not be played against Toronto FC, because the same exact thing happened last year. We were at City Field. We were at a different baseball stadium to see a soccer game, and we're on our phones looking at decision day, and it was Atlanta and NYCFC that were sort of fighting for that 2 and 3 spot, and
the days.
and Giovinco scores that free kick last year to get a draw and put Atlanta in third place, and then they ended up losing to Columbus in that knockout game in penalties. So they play Toronto again and lose 4-1. I mean, a bad loss, man. It's just like I know, I was watching all the Atlanta United people, Doug Roberson and Felipe Cardenas, and everybody
was coming out.
They're locked in. They're locked into this. They know how important it is.
They understand. They've been told.
They want to give that fan base the first trophy, and just came out and just laid an egg, man.
It looked like they've never learned how to play defense.
So surprising. I mean, look, the things happen that for certain teams, like when you give up a goal, and you know how important it is to get that win. That's what happened when Lorenowitz made that bad pass and they gave up that goal. It was just the mentality, just the motivation was gone. They were just like, oh, we actually might lose this. And once you're in your head like we might lose this, you're probably gonna lose it.
Which begs the question. And again, whatchamacallit? All props to the Red Bulls.
Yes.
They certainly deserve it.
They did their job. They won their game.
But talking about Tata Martino now, potentially U.S. men's national team, now that Mexico finally got word from the Cooligans that we don't want them to take him, does this, depending on what happens in the playoffs, does this make you feel like maybe Tata Martino isn't a big game coach? He lost the 2 finals against Chile, right? In the Copa America.
The 2 finals against Chile.
Yeah, in the Copa America.
What do you mean 2 finals?
He was in the back-to-back finals.
Oh.
Was he not? I know he was in at least the one. When he was the manager of Argentina.
I don't recall. I know he hasn't won. I know that. Yeah.
And they failed in the playoffs last year, and again also against Toronto at the end of the season. Does this mean he is a bad
big
game coach?
You're just hoping that he becomes a U.S. men's national team coach. So are you suggesting that he is? Well, how do you feel about it? Do you think he's a bad big game coach? I mean, he's not. Obviously coached in Argentina. There's Copa Libertadores, and there's playoff systems. There's big games, and he's been a part of. So I don't know. I don't know about that. Blaming him for the loss. I would say the only way I would kind of blame him is in regards to maybe they shouldn't have made the announcement of him leaving. I think that might have affected the team negatively, and
they were kind of playing a little weak before that anyway. You know, they really didn't play that bad if you look at it. I mean, they got a lot of wins in the last 10 games. I don't know. I just look at it and say maybe Tata's not maybe in those pressure moments he's not that good of a manager.
I mean, look, they didn't have Almiron. You know, it's
Again, but you know, look, Barcelona didn't have Messi and they still lit up you know, Real Madrid.
all right. Yeah, Atlanta United is the Barcelona of the U.S. What do you want? What are you saying?
Actually, they're not. I mean, they wish they were. But
No.
what I'm saying is maybe Tata Martino is not a big game coach. It's a hot take, bruh.
Maybe
I'm hot potatoing it to you. I'm putting it in your hands.
But
what you want to do with
You're
it?
just saying it, and you're not giving
He
any
didn't win
real
the
reason.
Copa America. What big game has he won?
Maybe
None.
maybe he hasn't won any. I don't know. I don't know Tata's career
So
like
then
that.
Are we starting to say, even if it's just based off the last 2 years, knowing that he was in a final with Argentina and lost, does this mean he's not a big game coach? Does this mean he can't win the trophies? Does this mean he can't win the big pressure game?
Does it mean no?
What do you think?
No, I think he is still currently the best coach in Major League Soccer. That's my opinion. And I know the Red Bulls have it's the Red Bulls were clearly the best team in MLS history, but they had two coaches, you know, so it's difficult to say like it was all Armas or it was all Jesse Marsh or whatever. But right now, if I had to pick between amongst any coach, I would pick Tata Martino. So regardless of if I think he could win a big game or not, I would still pick him
For
any job as a coach of a soccer team.
All right, you made it clear.
Yeah.
I think maybe there's a chance that he's not that big of a big game coach. Maybe he can't handle the pressure. Maybe his coaching style doesn't lead to that. I'm not sure that I 100% agree with what I'm saying.
Maybe.
But I'm saying this is giving me that idea that maybe he's not. What do you guys think? Let us know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a stretch, but it's understandable if you don't have the results to say I've won it. I've won the big games and have that track record behind you. Then it's fair to pose that question. But so what's a bigger deal? Rebels winning the Supporters Shield or Atlanta losing it?
Atlanta losing it only because I want to say it's very tight because of the amount of points and the fact that the Rebels had switched coaches midseason. I'm gonna say Atlanta because they were in the lead for so long.
Yeah.
So they had to fail their way out. And nobody wants to go into the playoffs backsliding. Nobody. Even though they're only in second place.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to have an opportunity where you win and you're in and you lose, a la men's national team. So nobody wants that, right? So I'm going to give all the credit because the Red Bulls had a win, didn't guarantee them that they won. They also needed help.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it to Atlanta. But I will continue to say absolutely incredible season by the Red Bulls.
Yeah. It's a strange season for the Red Bulls because I for whatever reason, and maybe it's the way the team is covered, and or even comparatively to Toronto last year. Toronto was getting a lot of love in the build-up to they're going to be the best team in MLS history.
Right.
Even just when they were getting close. The Atlanta wasn't really doing that because I get the sense like, oh, they're a newer team. It would be weird to like promote them that way. But the Rebels who were just as close and keeping up with Atlanta were not really talked about in the same vein. Like this is the potential for the best team in MLS history. And it shows a little bit of the, I don't know if it's bias, but it's definitely, my guess is, and based on, you know, some of the people that we've spoken to, big Red Bull fans and stuff like that, I get the sense that Red Bull fans, people who cover them, are so tired of getting their hopes up.
Right.
They don't even want to. They're like they haven't done it. They haven't. They won supporter shields, sure, but they haven't
3
won
out of
cup.
6.
The last 6 years. That's right. So
That's huge.
incredibly impressive.
By the way, and they're doing it the way that I'm shocked not everyone else is just going out and doing, which is invest the shit out of your kids, man.
Yes, but the Red Bulls have been in the league 23 years.
But they haven't had academies for 23 years.
No, I know that. I'm giving them a ton of credit. I'm just saying.
Everyone else can start that process now. Everyone.
But I'm just saying, soccer fans of in general, and not just Rebel fans, but they've grown weary of expecting the Rebels to do well, and they don't, right? And winning the cup. That's the bar for them.
Yeah.
Because they've gotten everything else. So people have grown. I sense this in the way they are covered, that people are just tired of talking about that.
Because it's like, yeah, we get it. We get that.
Yeah, you win the sports shield, whatever. But it's not a hot new story.
No.
So it's like
But
it's cup or nothing for them to earn a little bit more respect.
There's only so many times you could win something like the U.S. Open Cup and not win the MLS Cup. There's only so many times you could win something like, I'm not saying this Rebels, I'm saying this for all teams.
Yeah.
You can win the Supporter Shield and not win the big one, the MLS Cup. Like, yeah, MLS Cup is like the big thing that's like hanging over everyone's head. Even if you think like, oh, but the single table Supporter Shield is the one that's the most important. Yeah, sure. End of the day, people want to hear about MLS Cup. That's the big event. That's the big final.
You playing soccer in America. It's playoffs. It's buzzer beaters.
Yeah.
Okay.
To some degree, everything
it's
is
one-handed catches. That's what we care about.
And please don't do that. I'm a soccer fan. But to some
Unless you're a goalkeeper.
Then yeah, that'd be actually really dope.
Imagine a one-handed catch from a goalkeeper.
Imagine
like
you caught it as opposed to just like parrying it.
Yeah, that'd be
Damn,
dope.
Son. Yo, your hand was hurt, dog.
All right, Odell.
Okay. What you doing out here, bro? To some degree, I think it's a lot like everything is really a Europa. It's a trophy, and you should be proud.
Yeah.
But MLS Cup, that's your Champions League. You know what I mean? Like, that's the important one. You know? You got to win that.
Yeah. All right. So these playoffs are gonna be dope. I'm genuinely excited in the fact that I don't know who's really gonna take it. You know? I'm
clueless as to how it
goes.
But
the thing I'm most excited about is that it's gonna be on the goddamn East Coast.
Yeah.
We don't gotta go to Toronto.
No one has to go to Toronto.
It's gonna be mildly warm, a little bit, maybe.
A little bit. All the cold cities all the freezing cities are out. Montreal's out. Vancouver been out.
Yeah.
Toronto out. Seattle's in it. They don't get freezing cold. Chicago's out.
Yeah, it should be.
I think New York is the coldest potential city that's on record right now that potentially win.
Maybe. I don't know. So, okay. Right. So, let's get to our
Columbus.
Let's get to our next segment.
Columbus gets cold.
A little chilly.
A little chilly. Especially emotionally from the owner as well.
Let's get to our next segment because we're going to be talking to FC Dallas coach Oscar Pareja, and
then we'll be back after that.
And we're going to talk about Decision Day and
the rest of Decision Day
and all that stuff, man, because we got a lot to say about it.
We got things to talk about.
You're going to absolutely love Oscar Pareja. Just incredible. And again, thank you to FC Dallas for letting us into the office. And
literally.
And
we became part of the front office.
Okay. And the fact that we got to interview the people that we did, it is not lost on us that it was just an incredible opportunity and incredible privilege. So
and this was something we didn't think we were going to get a chance to interview the coach.
Yeah.
And
they made it happen.
Wild.
It's crazy. We are two stand-up comedians from New York City.
Two dummies. Sitting in the conference room with Elvis, on the Volley Apparel behind us.
And Oscar was nice to us.
Why?
Crazy. So you're going to absolutely love it. So listen to our interview with Oscar Pareja right after this.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for listening to the Cooligans. We just want to break in with a word from one of our sponsors on the Volley Apparel.
That's right. We'll get to the interview in just a second with Oscar, but on the Volley Apparel, always, we hung out in Dallas.
He was there.
He was there. Elvis was there. Elvis, the guy
he
who
already
runs.
heard this.
He heard.
He was in the room.
He knows what happened. All right. Elvis, you can shut this off. You don't even listen anymore.
Yeah, you good. We got the download already. We good.
So on the Volley Apparel, look, if you want to get the gulliest shirt, which we just restocked, go to onthevolleyapparel.com. Use the promo code Cooligans, and you'll get 20% off your entire order. So you can get the gulliest shirt. You can get other dope hip-hop, streetwear, soccer-inspired apparel, right? It really represents kind of everything about soccer.
And it's cool. Like, if there's something that's just, like, really dope in the sort of streetwear sphere, they'll also do something quite like Supreme or, like the NASA shirts that say OTVA, but it's a soccer ball in the background. It's all really cool stuff.
Exactly.
Again, you're going to get 20% off everything.
Everything.
Not just the gully. You are going to get 20% off the gully, but you get 20% off everything.
Yeah, the gulliest shirt will, after the discount, will only come out to about, $16? Dude,
I mean, you can't even find that on the street, my guy.
That's right. All right? We don't give them out to just people on the street. That's the main issue. Yeah. You can't,
please don't do that.
Don't bootleg our shirt. That's what we're asking.
Don't bootleg it. But why go to a bootlegger and you don't know what you're getting? We can get that really good, high quality on the Volley Apparel quality. If you go to onthevolleyapparel.com, 20% off if you use Cooligans.
Yes, I still do it. And on the Volley Power
Holiday shopping.
Holiday shopping's coming. Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
This would be. You could be Gully Man for.
Yeah. You can be Christian or Alexis for Halloween.
Wear your gulliest shirt.
Yeah.
Get a lot of foam padding to be Alexis. But
Son of a. All right. Well, don't try to be Christian if you're white, by the way, because we can't have you going out in tan face.
Don't do Dominican face.
No.
It'll be an issue.
I dare someone to wear a banana with a gulliest shirt over it. And you're banana, the official.
That would be a great Halloween
the
costume.
gulliest fruit of all time.
On the Volley Power, they make tees, they make tanks, they make hoodies. So there's a lot of opportunities to get different kind of just cool clothes to rep the game, rep the sport, the beautiful game. So go to onthevolleypower.com, use the promo code Cooligans, and you get 20% off.
Yeah, baby, we're back. And I'm not screaming because we are honored right now.
I mean, it's just we're honored. We're a little nervous,
Yeah.
but because, again, we have been here in Dallas with FC Dallas. They've been incredibly warm, welcoming, supportive,
This is
letting us talk to so many people, so many players, front office. And now we are here with Papi himself.
Papi. El generalito. I can't say that word for some reason. Profe.
All right.
El Señor, your head coach of FC Dallas. Ladies and gentlemen, unless you're driving, put your hands together for the one, the only, Oscar Pareja.
Oscar.
El Generalito, where did you get from that with that? Where did you find that?
Oh, online. It's on the internet.
on the internet, baby. Yeah. Everyone's talking about it. Somebody spray painted it on the bathroom. You know what I mean? Everyone knows your nickname. How does it feel to have stepped into a team like FC Dallas that when you came, they were struggling, and now not only are they not struggling, they're having great seasons, but it seems like there's an entire system. There's a way for the youth to get into the game. Players leave, and you can plug in new players. How does it feel to have something that is like that you've completely built, that you've helped build?
Right. Well, I've been honored to be part of this club for many years. I thought the key was the belonging that we all have here. Since I played myself here for 9 years, and obviously that was the start on a good thing here for me, and then also follow with a good career with the academy and all those things. So knowing the club and having that belonging for all of us, I think it helps just to get the things together and sync them up.
When it comes to the culture of FC Dallas, because all the players here have constantly talked about how it very much feels like a family, right? The young players they get opportunities, they get real shots to impress impress you. What does it? Is it something new for you, like that, something that you got to create on your own, or is it something that growing up in Colombia and you were able to bring things that you learned there and try to bring that to like American soccer culture?
Right, I thought it's that one. We grew up in a system where you start from the minor divisions, we call them there, the academy in the early ages. So you start just coming up and having always that aim to be part of the first team and make your living out of the game. It was big in our countries. Obviously, when I came here and I saw the system that is placed on the youth and having many clubs, and obviously the players have the opportunity to go through college, but going to the first team, it was not very common. So creating the academy system in this country for the federation, for the clubs, I think had been a great step. And we witnessed ourselves with our club, just having players who once thought that they could have been representing FC Dallas, and they can start changing their habits and their training methods and all those things. And actually that happened in a few years. So it just made us all thought about a good system, and we have grown from there.
And you certainly have. Now, you went from being a great player to becoming a coach. And even if it's just rumors, and I'm not asking you the question, but even the thought that your name is even being mentioned with national team, how does that feel for you to have gone from playing to now coaching and seeing that everyone we've spoken to, from security guards to janitors to players, loves you and respects everything you do? How does it feel to have gone from a player who's very, very good to now a coach who is beloved?
Well, and I want to say this from the bottom of my heart. I think it's a product to that all of us are part of. You know, we have to step on the line, and we have to be in the sideline of the game days and make decisions and coach them and have many decisions involved in the process. But at the end, this is a job that has been done for many. Just running a club, for the president, for the owners, for the people who is helping us in the small details, the people who works with the academy, the coaches who made us all grow, the players who make me understand the game better and better. So for me, is I'm proud to represent them all. You know, I think it's and a good way to say it is proud of all of us in the club.
This is why people like you, because you're such a good person. Because if this was me, I would say, of course, I'm amazing. Of course, I did it all myself. I don't even know who those people are, and they should be thankful they work for me. You know, you can tell you're a good person.
we should think like that.
Well, we were just talking to Reggie Cannon a moment ago, and he just got to get his first cap with the U.S. men's national team. What is it like seeing that, especially those young players under your tutelage, end up getting to live their dreams? How does it feel to be able to get somebody from that point A to point B?
They do a great job on being patient with the coaching and the process, and there's something that sometimes we don't highlight enough. Because when they're coming from the academy, there is a point where they are, all right, I'm ready. And, you know, I'm going to sign a contract, and surely I'm going to be in that field tomorrow, so we're all good. And that process between the academy and the first team sometimes taking longer than they ever imagine. And just staying in the mode of, all right, I'm growing, I'm not playing, I'm not a superstar. I'm the probably the last one to be considered, but I'm still can see that light at the end of the tunnel, and I can see myself playing and keep dreaming and keep being positive. That process for the academy players is very difficult. So I highlight it because sometimes we don't see the parts in between. We just see the beginning and the end. But all what they have done to get where they are, and it's a good example of Reggie that last year he played 0 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's 0 or 1, maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
Nothing else. And then
you better be grateful for that one.
Yeah.
Right.
You were like, it was long for us.
Right.
We didn't know what you were going to do out there, bro.
And keep believing that the time will come.
And to wait it out.
Exactly. And earn it. And be available just to sustain not just the dream, but the level and the training. So the game is not pushing you off the tracks, you know.
Right.
They do a great job on that part, and that's part of their growing.
That's incredible. Is this how you speak in the locker room as well? Because you have like a very calming effect. And I picture coaches as like yelling and you'll get over. I mean, that's how I am when I'm ordering a sandwich. You don't never mind coaching. Is this how you are? Because you have this ability to like, I feel like I could go out there and play. You're probably looking at me like, yeah, it ain't going to happen. How long would it take, do you think, for us to turn pro in this academy system?
Do you want to play tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't think you want to make the playoffs. You don't want me out there. How good is the physio? How good's the doctor?
Be fine. No, I think with the transparency that we all should be here.
Yeah.
And we always demand them to be transparent, and we don't need to pretend. So we are where we are, and sometimes we're not going to be loved, and some other times we'll be like it more than others. But your question is that I'm like that. I don't see myself being different.
Well, the one last thing I wanted to ask you about, I know you got to run. Being here for the Soccer Hall of Fame, there's a lot more media, a lot more people watching FC Dallas train. I know there were people talking about how they were very impressed with how FC Dallas runs their training. It's a very 100% bilingual experience, right? To see that, and it's an interesting thing. We were talking to Ryan about how, as an American guy, does not speak Spanish super well. He's been learning. He told us a couple words that he learned. Most bad words.
You're like an underground Rosetta Stone program. You're helping them learn Spanish because you're doing it in both languages.
But what is it feeling like? How important is that to you to be able to communicate with all the players? And I know that must be an advantage for the players that only speak English or the players that only speak Spanish, that they're coming into a club that won't make them feel strange or outcast about anything like that.
Right. But the first thing is that I was in their place. I'm talking about the players who came from abroad, especially South America, where don't understand the language at once, but they have been signed into a team, and they need to come out of the field and perform and win games, but they don't know anything. Yeah. You know, so I have been there with stories that was hard, man. You know, I
no
didn't
entiendo nada. Pero qué dice este señor, me está gritando.
And you look around, and the players, so you feel lost on the process. So when I started coaching, and I'm still learning the language, because sometimes, you know, with our accent being the thick and the tongue is being so rebel and just tweak it and all those things, so it's still difficult. But with the foreign players, we want to reduce the amount of time that they need to interpret what we're talking, and then we do it in a bilingual way. Try to do it shorter, obviously, but has been fun. The guys from here, they have been very generous on being patient on that part, and then have seen it as a good way to learn the language.
Right. Yeah.
And then I think we all now behave in that manner of diversity, and I can see English speakers talking in Spanish to the other ones, or maybe explaining them in Spanish. It is amazing.
That's great.
Right.
Or I can see the guys who are coming who are understanding much more the English. So we're trying to reduce that gap, trying to use it as a part of our, I'm gonna say, the richness of the country, which is being diverse and being able to communicate in two languages or more, because we have, I don't know if you know, but we have 14 nationalities, different nationalities.
The United Nations over
14.
here. 14.
So, we have 14 players who are born in a different countries. Not the same. Not two Argentinians, not two French. One French, one Argentinian. One
14 different nations.
It's incredible.
That's wild.
It's incredible. And I said, you all have to come out to the field with the same goal. Just one idea. One idea, one objective, one for all. And we all have to agree on it. And it does not matter when they jump in the field if you score a goal in English or in Spanish or in French. And they have been able to do it. This is credit for that group of players. It's great. And
Which
we
by
all
the way,
growing.
Yeah.
We grow, you know. We all speaking a little bit better every day. We understand them much more. And I know the players from America, they understand that we respect the culture, and then the primary language here is English, and we try to do it in English because this is their country.
Right. It seems like something from the top down, because we spoke to Dan Hunt, and he was talking about how important diversity was for him, and it's something the players talk about how important it is. And now hearing it from you, and especially in the tone in which you're speaking it seems like it's something that it's not just something you write on the board. It's not just something that you say for when people walk in, they feel comfortable. It's every day. It's something that's practiced here. It's like everyone is made to feel welcome. Everyone is made feel part of a team, which isn't common. Most teams, it is a bit of more like of a pressure cooker. You want you need to find what we're doing. We don't have to bring you up, but you guys are doing that for them.
Right. It's a way to grow. It's a way to know and understand the game in a different way.
Yeah.
I say to the players, my first year as a professional player was 32 years ago. Before that, I competed maybe, I want to say 7 years more. So I would say 37 years. I have been in the competition mode. And I don't remember a day that is not like that. So
when do you relax?
No.
Geez, 37 years of competition.
Right, there's a competition mode all the time. But what I try to tell them and tell you is that all what I have learned has been through the game. So the game had taught me every single thing that I know, beside my parents and my church and you know, nursing under the Christian guidance and all those things. But the game itself has taught me every single thing that I know, and it's just through the interaction to the footballers, to the coaches, to people that I didn't know and I know, and they're my friends, and now with this bilingual thing and another culture, another language, another country, is amazing. It's amazing.
Do you like correct the players in their native dialect? Like if it's an Argentinian, you're like, yeah, this. Or if like a Cuban walks by, you're like, oye, ¿qué tú estás haciendo? Pero ¿qué es eso? Nadie hace. Do you do it? Do you also break it down that way?
They do it.
They do it themselves.
Among them, they do it.
You say it, and they're like, yeah, we'll tell the Argentinian what you mean.
That's the next level.
Yeah.
I just keep the basics. They go to the details.
That is awesome. You should have like a YouTube series where you just smoke a cigar and you give people life advice, because you have a way of delivering information where I'm ready to go out and beat. What team are we playing now? Sporting Kansas City. I'll beat Kansas City for you. I'm gonna use a bat because I don't know. I'm not good with a soccer ball, but I'll do it.
We give you time.
Yeah.
Wait for you.
Well, yes, you. I like Alexa said, you are very inspirational, and you've inspired 2 stand-up comedians.
Which our girlfriends and wives can't do that. Piling up bills don't do that, and you in 5 minutes were able to do that.
So, Profe, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. It's been an absolute honor. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I was waiting there 2 days for you because I was there in the door. Say, what they laughing at? I mean, we're playing Kansas.
Yeah.
Why are laughing that much?
Yeah. Please don't get anyone in trouble.
You guys had fun. They were able to relax.
I understood now. It's great.
Okay.
Great to be part of your show. I understood. I think it's a great timing for us to relax a little bit with the players. So I appreciate that from you too.
Happy to do it.
And it's great to have you here in our complex, and thanks for the opportunity to get to all the audience.
Well, I can't wait for when they put your statue up. We'll come for the unveiling of that. And by the way, I know we were talking a little bit about the fashion of the players. I know we have to let you go, but we were talking to Maxi Urruti, who dresses up very nice.
Hey, how is it?
Well, we said, do you know what cargo shorts are? You know the shorts, los pantalones cortos, they're like son muy grandes y tiene los bolsillos grandes al lado.
Sí.
Like nobody, that's not fashion.
Yeah,
that's
that doesn't look good. Maxi would never.
Pero ¿quién fue?
Pero we said if they win MLS Cup, he has to wear those at the ceremony, and he said yes. He said he's gonna do it.
So
I'm trying to tell you because now he can't get away from it.
No,
once
I just
Profe
thought for
knows.
a second, and I do it too.
Yeah, okay. Everybody wears cargo shorts.
The entire team. Profe, thank you so much.
Esto fue un honor.
That's great.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, baby, we're back.
We are back. And wasn't that great, Oscar?
Wow.
Papi.
El Generalito, right?
Generalito.
No, he said in the interview, Gene.
Why would you don't pronounce a G in
That was
Spanish?
what he said.
I don't think you remember what he said.
I just listened to it along with everyone else. That happened in real time.
The word is general.
I know it's general. He said generalito. I can't say that friggin' word.
Because you're not saying it right. So.
I can't say generalito either. I just said it. Oh, man.
So
Oscar. Dad, I did it, Bobby.
How cool was that of him? I mean, there's a big Papi who's Dominican. I think we have Lil Papi, right? Because he's a small man.
He's a much smaller man than Big Papi, for sure.
But
Papi also my grandfather's nickname.
I mean, you and 40 million other.
No, like that's what everyone called him, even people in the street.
Sure. That's what. Same thing with my grandfather.
No, I don't believe you. So,
Anyway, how cool of him to do that. So that was awesome. Thank you, FC Dallas, again. I hope you enjoyed that.
and might we also say, when he started, only had 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah.
He loved the interview so much. He told media people, hey,
He was like, hey, I'm staying here forever.
Hey, whoa,
okay?
whoa, whoa! Why don't you come down and be respectful of these two gentlemen right here, will you?
Okay.
Also, he made me want to start talking like this.
Oh, sure.
I'm never gonna. I mean, I am who I am. But
You will never change me.
Stop trying to change me, Dad. But no, he did. For a moment, I'm like, maybe I should be more soft-spoken. I'll get more done. And then I was like, nah, I'm gonna be loud and abrasive.
What a stupid idea.
Ew, who was that?
Clearly, Alexis is possessed.
Yeah. Oh no.
Well, you know what? So let's start talking about Decision Day and some of the upsets, some of the
We talked
excitement.
about Atlanta collapsing already.
Yes, but let's go and we're gonna talk about some of the games.
Let me
Especially
guess. In the order in which they were played, I'm Christian and I like structure.
What a terrible thing to do.
Why are you doing it?
I'm a big old dummy.
Well, all right. You guys have heard that Christian impression before?
Yes, the order. There was no order they were played because they were all played at the same time.
Whoa! What's Christian gonna do?
I have
Alphabetical?
I have an order that I have in front of me.
Okay.
But we were talking about Dallas because we spoke to Oscar Pareja, so let's talk about their game. Is that
Yeah.
okay for you, Alexis?
Yeah.
Is that am I on some autism scale of wanting things in order?
Old Cooligans on the Spectrum segment brought to you by Christian. Now, for all truth and intents and purpose, Christian does almost all the work here, and he sends me the order in which we're going to talk about it, and then I make fun of him for it. So,
Exactly. So you see how
little
you
peek
see,
behind the curtain.
you see how it all works. Okay. So FC Dallas did play against Colorado, one of the worst teams in Major League Soccer,
And of course, hold on a second. They clearly beat them to death.
You about to go in, inspired by Oscar. Let's go.
They haven't won since we've been there, dog.
Get that dub, and no, they leave.
Yo, Cooligans
with,
curse.
Is it real? I guess.
Oh.
Well, now we gotta see what happens in these playoffs.
They let a damn child score on them. Some kid scored for the first career
he was ready
goal.
to do, came back, and he got a time machine.
He's still 17.
He's still 17 years old, and he scored. No.
No, my man's name is like Paxton or some shit.
His name is Cole Bassett.
Cole Bassett.
Okay, very.
That's
his name is basically Colorado.
Yeah,
It's already
I know.
almost there.
It sounds like the kind of fish you caught in Colorado fly fishing. What'd you get? I got me a Cole Bassett.
Ooh, all right.
All right.
That's gonna feed the family for
Yeah.
weeks.
Not a fatty fish, but it's very lean. It's very nice.
FC Dallas loses this game 2-1. I couldn't believe it.
What are you doing?
Nobody loses to Colorado. You score 6 or 7 on Colorado.
Yo, in fact, when Colorado scrimmages against itself in training, it always ends in a draw. They can't even beat themselves, bruh.
Insane.
What you doing, FC Dallas?
I thought after the loss to Sporting Kansas City, you understand they losing to Sporting Kansas City.
Tough team.
Tough team. But then
Playoff-bound team.
You play the team at nearly at the top of the table.
Colorado been out of the playoffs since week 8.
Okay, it was different seasons ago. I don't even remember.
They started the season off by apologizing for not making the playoffs.
We thought this was very strange of them, but
we see that it was very lucid of them.
the foresight, incredible. So
how you lose on the last day? Yo, these dudes already packed up.
and they were 1-0 up. They would
Yeah, that's right.
Urruti scores a goal.
Scores a goal.
I
He's
mean,
been drinking his mate.
Right? So, at that moment, I'm like, yo, all right, the Cooligans curse is not real. We can put all these theories to bed. And then the 80th minute, this child scores.
Yeah, some kid that ran out
Right on the street.
Some kid wanker just ran out of the
First
stand.
goal. I think it was his first start.
Yeah,
They were
first touch, the whole nine.
Just look, Crazy.
The kid won a competition at halftime of the last match. That's how he gets in the game. No, shouts to him. He's been obviously working very hard in the academy.
Yeah.
Cole Bassett.
Cole Bassett scores in the 80th minute, and then
Cold-hearted Bassett right on the last game.
yeah, I mean, he sounds like a jazz flute musician. Oh, Cole
Yeah.
Bassett. Oh, I saw him in Harlem in 61.
In 61. Invented the chicken and waffle. Oh, Cole Bassett. Man, he had lungs for days, Cole Bassett.
So, but then they allowed another score from Tommy Smith in the 84th. Crazy.
I know, a pundit, right? The guy's 80 years old.
Yes.
Tommy Smith with Hawaii.
Yeah, he was like, it's in the onion bag.
Yeah. Also, help me up. This hurts. Why am I still playing?
I'm an academy kid.
What's up, cool fellas? Does anyone see my cigarettes and heart medication?
So just a shame, man. And then because of that, this puts FC Dallas into the knockout round. They were sitting comfortably before we went to Dallas. They were comfortably in first place in the Western
Prior to
Conference.
the Cooligans bump, the Cooligans nudge, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, did we leave like sugary sweets behind or something? Did
I don't
we
know.
leave pizza?
I don't know. I thought, even Oscar Pareja was saying how happy he was that we were there.
Right now, he's probably like, thank God they didn't talk to every player. Oh, boy. We wanted him to, but oh, boy. What happened?
Who knows, man? Just a bunch of missed chances. Dominic Baji.
Actually, you know what I'll say? The players we spoke to are playing well.
Yeah.
So,
Urruti scored.
Urruti scored. Reggie looks great. Tesha looking good out there.
Yeah.
Hollingshead I haven't seen, but I'm guessing he's doing all right.
I don't think he played. I don't think he played the last two games. But,
Okay.
But
Well,
just
then it's not his fault
it's
either.
not his fault. Okay, so
So here we go.
everybody putting out that bad juju in the air.
Yeah. Not us.
Not us.
We put out good juju.
Exclusively good juju.
yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I seem to be all out of bad juju. Looks like I only packed good juju with me here.
I'm sorry, TSA. I packed a lot of juju in the bag.
Do I have to put them in plastic containers? I got only 3 ounces of juju?
That's not fair.
That's not disrespectful. You don't know how much juju I use. I'm bringing it for my friends and family.
So unfortunate. So now they're pushed into this knockout round. Who I believe they are playing the Portland Timbers, if I'm not mistaken.
Tough game.
Tough game. But they're playing at home. But Portland's Portland, right? And so they have a really good chance. This is one of those games. I have no idea who's the favorite here.
No one knows.
No idea. So next up, let's talk about what game do we have up next? Los Angeles Galaxy against the Houston Dynamo. Another just epic collapse. What is this?
The collapse of all collapses. And the one you didn't think was going to happen because of Zlatan.
Yes. Yeah.
This dude been talking trash everywhere.
He was just like and how convenient of LAFC to lose, getting that third spot. Waiting for LA Galaxy
Would have been the Cali Classic. Well, I guess you can't call it that, right?
No, because that's San Jose. It is
Tráfico.
El Tráfico. All right.
El Tráfico, right there.
All right. So
Just waiting in the wing.
Wait.
You know MLS was like, no.
Oh my God.
Give him 15 minutes extra time.
I don't know how the MLS offices a couple blocks away are still standing. Because
How did Don Garbiner just run on the field and kick the ball away?
LA loses 3-2 to the Houston Dynamo team, another team, the Toronto of the Western Conference, right?
Yes.
They had nothing to play
Yes.
for, but they're still a solid team, and that's the main issue.
And by the way, if anyone ever says that MLS is rigged, proof it is not.
Okay.
Because I think everyone would have picked, everyone, even the team that beat LA, would have chosen for LA Galaxy to play LAFC in the playoffs.
Yes, I mean we would have wanted that, sort of like the way LeBron wanted Drake to go back at Pusha
hip-hop
T.
historian?
Hip-hop historian. We're MLS historians.
We're
okay?
MLS historians. If LeBron is a hip hop historian, we are MLS historians.
And that's,
How did he get a show in a barbershop when he got no hair?
okay, yeah. How do we get a soccer show when we know nothing about soccer?
That's a good point. Well, we just created this. We're not on HBO.
I thought LeBron invented the barbershop. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Those movies were about him.
LA Galaxy, Ola Kamara gets a brace, and then in the first half and then the second half. It's just it's LA Galaxy. Did they sub on Ciani? Right?
Yeah.
So, like, it made no
Although
sense.
Fletcher looked like Ciani.
This is the issue with Houston is that they play a game that is, look, they have Romel Kyoto, Albert Solis, Mauro Manotas, right? They have these Central American like big ass dudes.
Big dudes, monsters.
Monsters. They're fast. They're good on the ball.
Yeah.
They'll push you off the ball anytime.
You
Like,
can't take them off the ball if you
can't-
wanted to. Yeah.
they're strong
They're
dudes.
pulling around Black Panther masks.
So they're a tough team to play regardless of where they are, like, in the table.
Yeah.
And LA Galaxy clearly just did not expect. They thought they were just gonna. They thought they were just they're out. They're not gonna really play that hard.
I don't think that that's the case because they clearly came out to play. Zlatan was ready to go. They were scoring goals. They just turned it off. At one point, they thought this is so far gone that we're good to go. This team is done. They don't want to play anymore. We just put 2 on them.
But once Kyoto scored the goal, it crushed them. You saw it. You saw.
I think when Kyoto scored, it scared them. I think the penalty zapped them of all their
The
energy.
penalty.
What a
Alessandrini.
week. Alessandrini just kicked the lunch out of Andre De La Garza. What? It was De La Garza,
When
right?
we got, it was AJ De La Garza. It was. Look, when we bring this up from time to time, it was the what is you doing of the week?
Yo, what is you doing, Alessandrini?
Alessandrini, where were you looking at? Clearly, you're in the box.
He openly kicked dude in the chest. And not like coming down. He kicked
Up,
his stomach
dude.
like it was the ball.
It was Liu Kang
Yes.
doing the kicks
Yeah.
at you in Mortal Kombat.
Somebody mashed the buttons on a controller.
Very just you expect it from a LA Galaxy defender.
Yes.
Understood. You what?
Not from a DP.
Not from a DP. Not from your winger. What was he thinking?
Yo, what was you doing?
It wasn't even like a slight like. I didn't catch him. You know.
He didn't pull his foot back, and then De La Garza kind of fall on it.
It was a
He
complete.
whipped De La Garza
It was
in
a
the
complete
chest.
like he was just certain no one was around him.
Yeah.
Like I thought soccer players have this vision and
Yeah,
they
you
have
got
a
the
sense.
innate
yeah,
sense.
you just know who's sort of around you. It's like that Isco ability, right?
He was like a Great Dane. Like, he doesn't know how big it is, just bumping into shit. Be like, oh, who put that there?
But
that
no-
table been there since you were a puppy.
Alessandrini was like playing like he was in MLS in 1997.
Yeah.
Being like, I can play soccer out here.
Yeah.
all right."
Oh, wow. Look at all this space.
And just straight up kicked AJ De La Garza, a former, and it's just
Former LA
former
Galaxy.
LA Galaxy, a beloved LA Galaxy player.
Should have never been sent away.
Sure. You sent away like you went to like
Yeah,
some,
he went to boarding school.
some nursing home.
Yeah. It's a real shame.
We had to put him away.
Yeah, put him away. Put him in Houston where no one can see him.
And then
That's because I wasn't sure if he was traded or sold.
he was traded. He was traded.
Are you sure about that?
I-
Or
I'm-
I feel like you're making it up.
Does MLS sell players within the league?
Yeah, Tam and stuff.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, you're right. All right. Anyway, but that's very new in general. It's just not. It's not a very.
Ladies and gentlemen, who was right? This guy.
It's new. It's still you're still trading for Tam technically because it's not money. It's not straight up cash. Anyway, MLS
We
is
could
weird.
Google AJ De La Garza, but I'm not gonna.
And then Mauro Manotas gets the penalty, and then another. But then obviously they couldn't tie, so they really needed that third goal. And once they gave up the penalty, it was just it's just a bummer.
That
but,
penalty took everything out of them. You could just see it.
So
And they tried at the end, boy.
Yeah.
Who got that header that missed just wide at the end of the match?
I don't recall.
You're that guy.
Yeah, what are you gonna do, man?
The picture, there's this really dope picture. Well, I guess if you're not an LA Galaxy fan, there's a dope picture of Alessandrini in the background. He's in focus on the floor, face down.
Yes.
And Cole with his face up closer to the camera, both laying on the ground. Like that image alone. And this is, look, we've both said that we think promotion and relegation would be good in this league, but it doesn't mean there's nothing to play for at the end of the season here.
Clearly.
And that goes to show you, man, getting in the playoffs was important. Zlatan stayed on the bench, just slamming water bottles for like an hour and a half after the game.
Yeah. So this brings up a lot of questions of what's the future of the LA Galaxy. Who's gonna be the coach? Is Zlatan staying?
It's clear
Is
that
Chris
Tata
Klein-
Martino is going to go.
Is Chris Klein still getting a job, like keeping his job? There is so much anger and frustration from LA Galaxy fans, and I like seeing it because they're used to being the best team in the league, and they've won most cups, and
It's kind of exciting that them and Toronto aren't going to be in it because it's like, LA Galaxy's won it a bunch. Toronto won it last.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to see some new blood.
I just think LAFC is gonna wash RSL. We're bringing
Can
it back.
I be there?
So
somebody tweeted, I wish they would wash me, something like that. I was like, yeah.
Thank you. We love callbacks.
Yeah.
So
we love callbacks.
do you think Zlatan is even staying? Do you think because he was upset?
No.
And he didn't stay afterwards to speak to anybody from the press.
Oh, he had no quips?
No, nothing
He
to
didn't
say.
have nothing to say right there?
Oh,
You
interesting.
got something to say all the time. Nothing when you losing, bro?
Yeah, interesting. We have to if we praise him for talking all the smack and we love it and it's entertaining, we have to
call him out when he shies away from it.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean,
Also, he probably wouldn't have said anything constructive at that moment.
which is even better, right?
Yeah, for us. Better for us.
But
Terrible for his teammates.
My issue with it is like he wants to, if he's a lion and he's tough and whatever, and he wants to be a leader amongst men and
Then
all that stuff,
he needs to be present
Then
at
he
these
needs to be
moments,
there
yeah.
in those moments as well.
But he's not the captain. So
He's
it's
not the
not
captain.
his responsibility, but if he is going to be that vocal leader, he needs to be there.
yeah.
Also, when Alessandrini kicked AJ De La Garza, at first I go, please don't be Ledjet. I yelled that out. So again, Sebastian Ledjet, we're worried about you. Again, you should probably post a shirtless pic on Instagram to let us know you're okay.
In the post game on MLSsoccer.com, I was watching the video and they interviewed him, and he did say that he was obviously like gutted and he was just really disappointed over the result because they shouldn't have let it go. But he did mention that Dominic Kinnear, he felt that he did do a good job and deserved an opportunity to be the coach of the team.
A lot of, including Zlatan, said that he thought Dominic Kinnear did a great job towards the end of the season. This was before they lost.
Which is probably
Horrifically.
not going to happen.
That doesn't help. But
Yeah.
he also started with he started behind the ball. So, I mean, what are you going to do?
Okay. So let's talk
Behind
about...
the ball is bad, right?
What'd you say?
You know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
Okay, cool.
Do
It
the
may not have been
do
said
the
correctly.
listeners know?
Do they ever? That's the real question.
Let's talk
Let
about-
us know if you ever understand what I'm saying.
Let's talk about NYCFC against
Oh,
the
boy.
Philadelphia Union. All right,
Oh,
so
boy.
this is round one of this game.
With two legs.
There's gonna be two legs because they're playing them in the playoffs
And
tonight.
We may need the aggregate score if we're NYCFC fans.
Maybe I hope they didn't waste all their goals on in the first leg.
3-1.
3-1
With an own goal.
with an own goal. Sure.
Guy by the last name of Trusty, which you would imagine not the last thing.
sure. He really betrayed people's trustees. I thought you would pay attention to that joke, but you clearly didn't care about the pun.
I heard it. I was like, all right, we're just going to let him marinate it the same way Zlatan did, sitting on the bench.
But a good performance from NYCFC, right? Obviously,
You were at the game. I couldn't go.
I couldn't go either.
Oh, all right. So you didn't get to go to change. I flew in too late to get to the game.
Yeah.
So I only got to see the highlights. I didn't even get to watch the game because I was,
Mm-hmm.
in transportation and all that, waiting for the limo, which never came. So I just took an Uber. We were weird. No one sent the limo for me because nobody cares. By the way, the joke is no one's ever going to send a limo for me. So I was in transportation. So I couldn't really watch the game. I ended up watching part of the second half, which was kind of cool.
Okay.
But I didn't get to really see. Did they look good? Did you get to watch the game?
I saw the first half, and then I watched the game afterwards. But the first half, they scored an early goal with Chanel, and then the own goal, and then and then the goal from Villa.
Yeah, it seems like everything happened in the first 33 minutes.
It was like Philly played like they played at the U.S. Open Cup final, where they were just like for some reason overwhelmed by the team, and they've never really looked. Philly most teams have trouble playing against NYCFC in Yankee Stadium. And I was like,
let's not hope this was like some weird practice run, because nothing changes if they throw this game either.
nothing changes for who?
Like if they lose this game, it doesn't change Philly's outcome.
Well, if Philly would have won, they wouldn't have been in 6th place. They would have been in 5th, and they would have played DC instead of NYCFC. So they still would have played an away game.
Might have been tougher.
What's
to play
better?
DC.
Yeah, like who do they want to play? DC
Probably
at Audi Field
NYCFC.
or NYCFC? Yeah, probably NYCFC.
So I mean, to some degree, it was kind of like a dry run. Now they have a bit more experience playing on that small field.
Yeah.
You hope it doesn't settle in.
Yeah, that's sort of the concern, because that was like the good and bad of like if NYCFC wins, then unfortunately they have to play the same team again. So it's like a weird, like when and the rematches are usually a little different, right?
Yeah,
especially 3 days apart or 4 days apart or whatever.
Dome.
Dome was in the post game conference. He did mention playing at Yankee Stadium, and I don't know why he was so coy about this, but he was like, "Well, yeah, we always seem to play better here." What are you confused about?
Yeah, it's half the size of everyone else's field.
What is it? You don't know why?
Are you out of your mind?
But I'll give credit.
It's a 5-a-side.
I give credit to NYCFC, especially in this game and at home. Like they know what their strengths are, and they
use it to your advantage.
They play. This is why teams have trouble there. Is not just because the field is small per se, but the tactics that NYCFC uses. They play close to each other, right? So when any player has the ball, there's always two very close options for that player with the ball. And
they play those like triangles very well.
Yeah, and they sort of like press kind of high, and most teams who
two steps forward is the difference between pressing high or not.
But other teams can't play that fast.
Yeah.
And with a little bit of a press against them. And NYCFC can.
And you can see that other teams, to your defense, to what you're saying, I mean, other teams like to be wider and give themselves more space. They're not used to playing in smaller spaces.
NYCFC is like, I never heard of space. I don't know what you're talking about.
In true New York City fashion, we're comfortable in smaller spaces, and we pay so much more for them.
NYCFC plays in, a Washington Heights apartment.
Yeah,
okay?
we goodies, son. It's like my friend was moving here from the Midwest, and they're like, I need a 2 and 2. And I was like, what is that? And they're like, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And I was like, you ain't finding that. I was like, how many apartments you trying to rent at the same time, dog? You getting 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom, and that should fit 7 people comfortably.
You get a bathroom if you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky. I have a friend who has a tub in the kitchen and a toilet in the hallway, and I'm not making that up. And you out here trying to get 2 bathrooms?
All right, la-di-da, sir.
Yeah, well, damn. Where would you like your hot air balloon to land?
Insane. But surprising from Philly. They tried everything they could, but they got a penalty call, and Sean Johnson with I believe his first penalty save for NYCFC, if I'm not mistaken.
Created the penalty.
Committed the penalty. I should say.
And then stopped the penalty kick. What a wonderful 1-2.
I would
Fafa be Colt. From New York, by the way.
That's right.
Yo, that may be your city, but that ain't your home, dog.
So, I think that was a good win, and I would even say holding Philly off in the second half is, I think, good for NYCFC's spirits going into this knockout game. I have been saying that I think it would be good for NYCFC. I was talking. Speaking of NYCFC, I was hanging out at the newsstand. If you guys watching on YouTube, you can see me holding up the For the City magazine.
What is the newsstand?
NYCFC opened the newsstand in Times Square. It was like a pop-up. It was like for one day. But they had a magazine that they made and a bunch of articles, great art. It's really cool.
Like academy kids and other people that are influential in soccer in New York City, but it seems to be missing a chapter or two.
What do you mean?
People that are influential in New York City soccer.
Sure. I mean, the Cooligans were omitted, but that happens.
Not even asked to be a part of it.
It's because the Cooligans don't read, dog.
Yeah, we made it clear to our listeners. We ain't trying to read.
Yo, NYCFC trying to give us homework, dog.
Yo, you want us to answer your questions to have our fans read? Nah, man. Video only, bruh.
So
you better have a TV screen in each of them joints.
I was hanging out with some of the folks from NYCFC in the front office, and I made we all sort of kind of felt the same way, that I think NYCFC winning a playoff game, if they win against Philly, will probably be better for the long run throughout the playoffs. So because last 2 years it was a bye, right? So they never got the feeling of winning a soccer game in the playoffs. You know what I mean? They played in the first leg, and they didn't play well.
Yeah.
They won the second leg
while losing,
but losing in the aggregate.
The old Arsenal, the Arsene Wenger Arsenal.
so they never got.
You lose the first one to Bayern Munich 7-0, and then the second one you win 2-0. You're like, nah, you didn't win. No, you didn't win nothing.
Exactly. So I think for their morale, the idea of like being put under pressure and being in a knockout game and winning it, I think will propel them a little bit better throughout the rest of the playoffs, because the next game will probably be against Atlanta, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. against Atlanta.
Very nice.
So, yes. So I think what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. So they play them again on Wednesday. So we'll see how they react to that.
Yeah.
It is gonna be interesting. So
again, speaking not as a Cooligan, but as a personal person, as a fan of
personal person?
personal person. That's the official term. As a fan of NYCFC, I'm a little nervous for the fact that we have to play them again in such short.
Yeah, that's what makes me nervous. But at least it's at home and everybody plays terrible.
Are you able to go?
I'm gonna be there.
It's Halloween. You're not allowed to wear a costume or mask. Did you know that?
Yes, Yankee Stadium has some rules.
That you can't have fun. I think that's the rule.
I mean, I was going to go in my banana costume, but now I can't.
That would have just ripped the roof apart. Oh, my God.
So
I was going to go as a mango, so now you're not going to get that.
All right, let's talk about the team across the river. New York Red Bulls
Red Bulls
played against Orlando. Win this game 1-0. A goal from Derek Etienne. This is a game that they should win, but clearly the overall meaning of the game ended up winning the Supporter Shield. A couple cool things. The Supporter Shield, which was in Toronto because Toronto won it last year, and it's I always forget that the Supporter Shield has nothing to do with MLS. It's not held by MLS. It's the Supporters Council.
Yeah.
They are the ones who manage it, and they had it in Toronto because Atlanta is clearly leading, and if they win that game,
also Toronto had it.
Toronto had it. Yeah, I'm saying.
So it stays at.
It stays there because that's where conveniently. Atlanta basically went to go pick up the Supporter Shield
and lost their money on the way there.
And Toronto was like, "Yo, I got it for you." So you know what you got to do.
Yeah. We're gonna ship it to New York instead.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they did. They had to ship after the result. They had to ship it to New York, and there's pictures of them putting it on a plane and everything. Mm-hmm. So because New York Red Bulls did not have the Supporter Shield there was a fan who dressed as Captain America in the stands, and he had a shield.
So they took that.
Yeah, and they used that to do all the photos, and so they have a Captain America shield that written on it says Supporter Shield, and they're holding it and doing
he
all
drew
this
like the little diamond thingy in the middle.
Yeah. So congratulations to the Red Bulls on winning that, man.
I will say the slow motion video of all the confetti coming down and stuff looked really cool. Again, the team's doing it the right way. They're developing their youth. Everybody catch up. NYCFC, please catch up.
So is there any? I mean, what's the next game we wanted to talk about? Sporting Kansas City against LAFC. This game, the big controversy here was. I mean, it's great on Sporting Kansas City to still win this game, but Seth Sinovic gets a red card, a controversial one. I've been looking up. They win this game 2-1. LAFC would have been huge if they win. I think they would have gotten first seed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Or very close to. Maybe I'm not sure what the point.
But Shallowy scores while they're down a man, that's just like I said off air. That's just one of the greatest feelings when your team scores while down a guy. You're like
Yeah. So they would have been in second. So LAFC. So LAFC they after a corner, Diomande heads the ball. To Seth Sinovic, who is covering the far post.
He's covering the far post. And he's standing next to it while holding the post.
Which is common.
And the ball hits him in what looks like it's going to be. From the angle you first can see, it looks like it hits him in the chest because he sticks his chest out. But what you don't see is he's also angling his arm out. And it looks like it hits one of those two things. The reason I'm saying it looks like one of those is because you don't know where or what he hits.
Yeah, so I was somebody on Twitter, there was some article somewhere, I forgot where, they posted like all the available angles.
Yeah.
And it's really the red card that is my concern. I could understand possibly giving the yellow for that impeding, obviously stopping a goal going in. I understand that.
That's a straight red.
It is a straight red if it was clear and obvious that he used his arm to stop the ball from going in. But that's not what was. It wasn't clear and obvious that he used.
It was to the official in VAR.
That's what I'm saying. But I looked at all the angles and I don't see a clear. At best, I think it hits part of his chest and part of his shoulder arm like that. It hits in such a spot that it's like el hombro, right? The entire
El
part.
hombro.
Just the shoulder, chest area.
Yeah,
maybe arm.
I
It's
get what you're saying.
A clear
that.
red. It wasn't a clear red.
I don't think it was enough to give a red either. But the guy looks under the hood, and that's what he sees, and that's the card he gave. Like, to some degree, you have to sit there. You have to sit there and say, "Hey, you got to give that guy the benefit of the doubt." If he looked under that thing, I don't see it either from the angles we were shown. We don't know if he had something different.
Yeah. Over there, I forgot what game it was. It wasn't.
And
this
aren't
one.
there like little GoPros now on the actual?
Yeah, that's what the angles that I was seeing.
Well, the one we saw, his arm was just out of the
shot. Yeah,
out of the
yeah.
shot. So
There-
it had to be another one.
There's another angle that it's just not. It wasn't clear to me that it was like a deserved red.
From the angles we saw.
So.
And we don't get extra angles, right? We're not that.
We're
we're not like mad in with MLS where they're like, "Yo, send the Cooligans some extra
Exactly.
angles."
Yo, Geiger. We need some extra angles from
Yeah.
that VAR room.
Yo, Cooligans are asking for those extra angles. I forgot we promised it to them. You mind giving that to them?
But a big loss because in MLS, yellow card accumulation is wiped off for the playoffs, but a red card is not. So Sestanovic will be missing the first leg of their playoff game, whoever they play against, and he's an integral part to the team. And on
Did
a
you just say integral?
integral, yeah. Is that
Integral.
It's the same word, Alexis.
Come on
What are you
now.
British now?
You just said it the British way.
Integral. Is that wrong?
Integral.
All right. Well, then put it out to Twitter. What is it? Integral or integral?
I feel like I'm right and wrong somehow.
I think both are right. It's just I think
Integral.
I think you're saying it the British way.
No, I think you're saying it the British way.
I said integral. You're saying integral, like integer.
I don't even know what that means.
What a waste of time.
Tim, integral or integral?
Yeah.
Get out of town. He just said integral. They can't hear that.
Unbelievable, Alexis.
Integral.
Why have you of all people who does not care for
By
words?
the way, I'm not even saying you're wrong. I'm saying, wait a minute, isn't it integral? I'm confused.
So he's an important part to the team.
Essential, maybe?
And not having him there will affect Sporting Kansas City in a negative way.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's just a shame to lose a player, a vet of the team in that manner. He's like, of course he's on a non-clear handball, stopping. Like, he knows to not do that.
Yeah, but it's also like, it's like the pressure of the game. It's the last game.
It wasn't clear. It wasn't clear to me. But whatever. They still win
He
this
did
game.
kind of walk away in that weird, oh, shit. I hope nobody saw that. Kind of.
I mean, you do that after you take a bite out of a sandwich. You're like,
Yeah,
all right.
because I'm like, oh, my God, is my wife anywhere around?
You're like Russell Westbrook eating.
Yeah. She specifically told me not to eat this.
So Sporting Kansas City, first place in the Western Conference. Again, I saw them in Dallas. Strong team. When it comes to having, the last couple of years they've been the knockout round. They, double post a couple of years ago in 2015 against Portland. They just have bad luck in those knockout games
Always.
after having great seasons. So at least now they can chill, see who they're about to play. And we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting time for them. I think I would probably say I'm comfortable saying them or Seattle are probably gonna get out of the Western Conference to play. So it makes the most sense to me. So all right. Anything else? You want Toronto, Orlando? You want to go over that game?
I know we talked about it.
I mean, it's
what's
just-
the point?
What's the point, guys?
If you would have won it, we would have talked about it.
Let's
Atlanta.
at least offer some solace and some support for Atlanta United fans. How should Atlanta United fans feel?
Scared.
Terrified.
Scared, yo. Don't come out your house, yo. This is the real Halloween. You should be scared.
This is soccer, right? All right.
Right now. I mean, I feel bad because I think they've become such an important part of the culture of soccer. And to some degree, Atlanta has kind of changed the landscape of American soccer. And they've
Yeah.
changed the perception of American soccer, where it only really makes sense for them to win. And I know that upsets a lot of fans, specifically Red Bull fans. A good friend of mine who's a massive Red Bull fan was texting me immediately. And he's like, I'm so happy because this means Atlanta doesn't win that. And, the blah, blah, blah. And this whole idea that they somehow they're the front office's like pet and like they're getting everything they want. And to some degree, it's like, yeah, dog, they get 72 to a game. What y'all doing? You don't get that in 3. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna be the sort of the pet and the one that the front office looks after. And they're also like, if you think of it, like, recently, like a lot of like Barcelona and major superstars in soccer and big teams, like their players have become big fans of Golden State Warriors, right? And a lot of NBA fans are like, the Golden State Warriors. And you're like, yeah, I get it. On the inside, you're like, ugh, why is everyone talking about them? But they're the ones that are on all the highlights that people see everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're the ones. Atlanta is that for MLS, whether you like it or not. Yeah, some people are watching some Rooney clips. Yeah, some people are watching some Zlatan clips. But for the most part, people know who Atlanta United is.
And deservedly so, because if you're trying to market the Premier League, you're not like, yeah, let me show these highlights of Cardiff.
Yeah, check out Huddersfield.
Again,
Why did I go there?
You could have said any team. You had 18. You had 18 other options.
I could have gone anywhere. Is it Huddersfield?
Huddersfield.
Wow. Huddersfield. You could show Newcastle. You're not gonna. You're gonna show Chelsea, Arsenal.
The teams with that have the bigger stadiums,
City.
Show a lot of people that have, Tifo's not
So
really.
maybe not City.
Tifo's not allowed in Premier League. Right? They don't do Tifos.
They
right?
don't do Tifos.
What a shame.
Because they're too busy with their hands in their pockets, chanting disrespectfully. I can't paint. You don't tell me to paint.
Austin Crafts.
Yeah.
Austin Crafts, mate.
Is that what you want me to do right now? Sip and paint like my wife does with her friends, with her mates.
Atlanta, the league, MLS is a young league. You gotta.
Everyone in Atlanta's name is young.
If we're making a highlight reel of the Cooligans, we're not gonna be talking about. We're not gonna show clips of Alexis saying Huddersfield and
although it's probably the best representation of what we do.
Integral, right? I'm sure that's exactly what the show is.
Yeah, no.
Trust me.
That guy was right with those emojis. That's exactly who we are.
That's not how we sell it. Okay?
No, you gotta sell it with the highlights.
Okay, because this podcast is a lemon. All right, you get it and you get it home and you're like, yo, none of this works.
Yeah, this would have been dope if I could have driven it home.
So it's understandable. Like
Atlanta is that team. There's nothing we could do about it. The one thing you can do if you're a Red Bull fan or a fan of any other team is, dog, get them numbers up. That's it.
That's really it. And you would hope that the being the best team in Major League Soccer ever would attract a couple more people to your stadium.
I'm not going to give. They're definitely the highest winning, the most winning team in MLS regular season history. But Toronto still won the treble. So they got to at least pull a double. At least pull a double if we're going to put them in the same category as Toronto.
Sure. Sure, that's fine. Okay, that makes sense. What Toronto did was much more unique. Clearly. Yeah. So
and they put in a run in CCL.
But we have to, I'm not trying to necessarily knock. I hate the same trope of they don't get fans at the games, but. But they're doing everything right, man. It's like this team.
Let's be honest. BT Sport or whatever. Monocle television, whatever they're watching out there.
Monocle TV. Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Before the program begins, please put on your monocles.
Yeah. Also, nice and calm, everybody. No need to to shout.
If you are not wearing a monocle, please leave the room.
Yeah. We don't want any beggars here. Only monocle wearers. Again, we will look at the photo of Meghan Markle before we can begin. All right, now let's start. So, whatever television show you're watching, you're not going to play a clip, and that's with NYCFC as well, of a team with empty seats in the background. You're just not going to do that.
Yeah.
You're going to play the wide shot of Mercedes-Benz Stadium with people going absolutely nutty. And, confetti and smoke going everywhere.
And Killer Mike doing stuff.
Right. And T-Pain sweeping up. I don't know what he's doing over there. Young jock begging for a job. Whatever's happening out there, you're not going to get that. You're going to get that. You're not going to get Rebel Arena. You're also not going to get Yankee Stadium. So at the end of the day, that's it.
It's a fine complaint, but the concern and the issue for a lot of people is like, Atlanta fans be talking all spicy online and stuff like that. And they want that to stop. But Look, they show up.
That's the league now.
That's the league. They support the team. They show up in mass. So that's it. They're gonna be loud. They're
They
gonna
even
be.
got like a deacon or something in the stands. The Cuban dude we met.
Oh yeah,
Reverend.
Rev United, Reverend United,
United.
Reverend Run United.
Reverend. They got everybody out there. They got rappers. They got religious folks. They got it all.
So-
they got Santa Claus. I mean, what you got?
Yeah, we got to applaud that.
Got Captain America.
Well, all the other teams in MLS can do is just beat them. That's all you can do.
You got to beat them, and you got to get them numbers up, bro.
Yeah. All right. Respect the single entity.
Yeah, yeah. Remember, we all getting paid off them 72,000, bro.
All right. The better Atlanta United does,
The better we all do.
The better we all do.
Rising tide lifts all boats, my guy. And I'm chilling in an inner tube.
Oh my God! Imagine we have to. That'd be just such a fun sketch of just like a like a skull and crossbones meeting of
Yeah.
single entity.
Yeah.
All respect single entity.
We must adhere. Hear ye, hear ye.
So that's it, man. Atlanta, sorry, it happened to you. All right, look, as NYCFC fans, we understand more than most. Okay, but this is part of the game, man. You're this close. You were this close to giving your incredible fan base a trophy. And you just fell short, but there's still opportunities, right? Some teams lose the Carabao Cup, right?
Yeah.
They don't care about it until they're in like the quarterfinal or semifinal, and then they're like, oh, well, there might be a trophy we might be able to get out here, and then they miss out, and they're like, okay, then it feels like a loss. But when you lose in like the second round, you don't care. But you were that close.
You were so close, yo.
You were so close, but it happens, dog.
But here's the thing. I'm on the record as saying that I think Tata, maybe this is a sign that he's not a big game coach. This is the chance he changes that, though. Can they go as far as MLS Cup? They seem like the team that can do it.
They're not my favorites.
They're not
Especially
my favorites anymore.
After that, yeah.
But they seem like they're stacked.
Big
If you put
game,
them up-
right? If you think of in the Eastern Conference, big games. I mean, Rebels have to be your favorite. I mean, it's tough because
It's hard to
always let you down, right? They've let their fan base down all the time.
3 out of 6 years they've done this.
Yeah.
And they've not won the MLS Cup. Now, is this a different year? They got a Boricua now.
That's so.
He's not letting anybody slide now. You know what I mean?
You saw how he treated Tata, right?
Yeah, he don't care about nothing. Nobody got his respect. Oh, you know Messi? I don't give a damn. I know. Yo, my ex used to be Messi. Oh, shit was everywhere in the apartment. No, he's driving his Tercel to the stadium. He don't care. Okay.
So you have to, if you think of who can win a big
He's
game,
blasting Hector Levo. He don't care.
who can win a big game, you have to favor the Red Bulls at the moment
Not
because
necessarily.
they played Atlanta.
No, but they gotta prove that they're not Red Bull of old.
Who's your favorite in the Eastern Conference? Is it Atlanta, I guess, or NYCFC? DC maybe. I don't even know.
There's no team coming in hotter than DC. That's for sure.
Okay,
The Eastern Conference.
I'll give you that.
Columbus is also a tough team to beat in the playoffs. I'd say right now, if you had to list a favorite, if you had to do it right now, probably Red Bull because of the way they came in.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, who do you think has the stamina and the balls to win MLS Cup? I don't want to put Red Bulls up front just yet because they've proven to me too many times that they're not that team. And I know a lot of their fans think like, yo, this is a different year. And I kind of, second half of the season, I agree.
Yeah.
Chris Armas has changed a lot of things positively, and they seem balls to the wall, put any player you want, any position, we're going to find a way to
Any position. Yes.
Any position, yo.
Robles, you're out front today.
Robles, get in there and creative midfielder. He's like, can I throw the ball? I mean, this is very difficult for me. But what I mean is, like, they seem to have like this plug and play thing going down. It's fun to watch as a fan of soccer. It's hard to watch as an NYCFC fan. I would say right now, I don't think I want to believe they're a different team, but they still seem to me like they're a team of old.
You Rebels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd say, I guess DC.
Okay, that's fine. I think
DC to me is probably the team nobody wants to play.
I just
At
think,
home.
look, if DC and NYCFC get past these knockout rounds, dude, these playoffs are gonna be nuts, dude.
Litty.
Because the semifinal is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like the is it quarters? I don't even know. The first.
The second round.
That's the first, second round, whatever. Because it'll. Red Bulls winning the Supporters Shield actually made it so that they would not play NYCFC if in that first knockout game.
Right.
So NYCFC would have to beat Atlanta to get a Hudson River Derby. But it's looking like it's either going to me.
Which would be
it's either
to play to go to MLS Cup.
Yeah.
So it's wild.
Which would be wild. So it would be interesting to me because it's going to either be, my guess is going to be in that Eastern Conference Final, it's going to be Red Bulls against either Atlanta or NYCFC. That's my guess. And either are going to be just so incredibly entertaining. But it's going to be Red Bulls DC if they get through, and Atlanta NYCFC. So two incredible
wild
matchups that are just going to be so damn fun to watch.
I can't wait.
Already, there's a rivalry there with Red Bulls and DC. It's gonna be
that's like a blood rivalry.
Yes.
That's been around since the beginning.
The Atlantic Cup or whatever.
I mean, it's gonna be
So
dope.
the playoffs
The
gonna be
playoffs
dope.
are gonna be wild. And by the way, bracket challenge. Are you doing it on MLS Soccer.com?
No, I didn't do it. Should I do it?
Yeah, we should do it. Let's do it. Let's do a bracket challenge. Let's see who comes out.
Sure. Do you know? You set it up. I don't know how to do it.
No, I think we can. You do it individually. It's like fantasy. You just pick one.
Okay. So,
Personally.
all right, it's happening.
I don't think it's like a league. I think it's just you do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, like we said, so Friday we're going to be talking about the knockout games.
Yep.
Because the games are going to happen Wednesday and Thursday. So stay tuned for that. And thank you again for listening, man. This has been super cool. We appreciate it. Anything else, Alexis?
No, that's it.
That's it. And Saturday, make sure to come to the comedy show on Saturday.
Yeah. It's
What's wrong?
I was gonna say the neighborhood. Yeah, if you listen this long.
You can say the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's gonna be in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
It's not Bay Ridge. You
Isn't
don't
it?
even know the neighborhood. Is
Sunset
it?
Park.
Sunset Park.
Sunset Park.
So,
Sorry.
a secret comedy show.
Which we've given you literally 99% of the information on.
Soccer inspired.
Yeah.
Cooligans
in
are
Sunset Park.
Cooligans are hosting.
And let's just say you're going to be really high up there close to the sun in a park in the sky. I mean.
So, don'ttellcomedy.com. Come to that show. It's going to be so dope. And it'll be a nice pregame before the playoff game on Sunday.
It'll be dope.
Well, if NYCFC or Red Bulls, who knows what's going to happen.
Who
right?
knows what's going to happen. Just come.
Just
You'll
come
talk
to
us.
come to the comedy show. So, you guys are the absolute best. Thank you for chugging along on this episode of Ups and Downs. But we hope we made your workday a little bit better. We hope we made your run a little bit better, and we hope we made your sleep a little bit better. Which
that would
probably,
be nice.
We probably didn't, and we probably ruined your marriage.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Mrs. Che Boludos, right? What was that? No, Tejano.
Tejano. Cooligans Tejano.
Cooligans Tejano. Sorry, Mrs. Tejano. Hopefully everyone's asleep right now and you can just shut off that phone. Sorry.
Yep. Or you maybe listen together, you know? Put it on the say Alexa, play Cooligans, you know?
Yeah.
And it'll be fun for everybody.
Alexa will be like, are you sure? That's what you want.
You guys are the absolute best. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining Gully Squad, listening to the show. Make sure you tell your friends about the show. Tell them throughout the MLS playoffs, there are these comedians do this soccer show. I want to, you should listen to them. So, and that'll be helpful for everybody.
That would be absolutely amazing. And if you know anyone who loves supporting soccer-based stuff, tell them about Gully Squad. That would be really cool.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening.
My name is Christian Polanco.
My name is Alexis Guerrero.
And together, what are we?
The Cooligans!
What's up? It's the world champion, Judah Friedlander, and you're watching the Cooligans. Why? Because you're cool. This is what winners look like right here, man.
I mean, you're looking at us.
Right now with my legs, I just juggled the ball 80,000 times.
You missed it.
Yeah.
He's been playing keepy uppy since I met him.
Yep, look faster, guys.
Go Team USA.